So we're live. Okay,
Okay.
so thank you.
And we'll just see.
All right.
You need to be ready, but
Mm-hmm.
that way.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Uh, it says, wait, Perry. It says, oh, I can't go live on X, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go. And then we're good. Thanks. You got 2 minutes. Hi, everybody. We're just gonna watch the judge. We're gonna watch the judge deny. This is my opinion, people. Deny bail for a third time. We're waiting, and I'm gonna go turn on my lights, Perry.
Yeah. I mean, but we'll see though. Like for me, I don't know what's gonna happen. My gut feel that he'll get denied again. But shit, people, this America. People with money get away all the time with crazy shit,
I
get
don't have
privileged.
any makeup on. Should I
Hmm?
uh should I go put makeup on?
Oh, I think you fine.
You think I'm fine?
Yeah. I mean, we sit here gonna watch it, and and typically this shit might drag on. You know how they go.
Yeah.
So sometimes they come out right away.
Someone says I
Sometimes they
can't stop watching.
yeah.
I can, but there's really nothing else to talk about. So until I find another good story, people, we're talking about Diddy. Okay,
Well, yeah, I mean,
plus it's everywhere. So
I'm not sure if he get another appeal after this. I'm
no,
not
I
sure
don't
though.
think
I'm not an
he's not supposed to
attorney.
have two. He's only supposed to have two. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody having more
Well,
than two.
okay, I'm thinking they can go different levels, right? You know how they just take it up shit. I don't know. I don't want to say nothing crazy. Up to the Supreme Court, all this crazy shit. You know how they just keep chucking and moving up. I'm not sure.
I think it's in the New York Supreme Court right now. I think. Let
Well,
me
see,
try
okay,
this.
maybe that's the last stop. I don't know though. Maybe they explain it sometime today or whatnot. But his attorney's like he's spending a
Perry,
lot of money.
we got 1 minute. I'm gonna go grab me something to drink. Do you want something
Okay.
to drink? Do
Oh no, I
you
got
want
my cup.
something?
I'm good.
I'll be right
I'm good.
back.
Yeah. But no, it's just weird, people. Like, I don't know. Like this Diddy thing, it could just keep going and going and going. Will they let him out? I guess that's the question for people in the chat right now. Do you think it's a chance? How many people can put a one in the chat if you think it's highly possible this appeal will go through and they'll release him to house arrest or whatever?
Perry,
Huh?
Emily Baker is covering the story now.
Yeah.
I wonder if she'll come on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
She's always so nice to me. Maybe I should call her.
Oh, well, damn. I mean, people think that it's highly possible that he can be released.
Oh,
It's some
really?
twos popping in. Yeah, I mean, it goes either way.
Wow.
Because their argument, I can see it to a certain degree. He is a popular guy, and shit, you would know if he surrendered the passport for him and the family and put that money up. Shit, they might. It's just
Hi,
hard to
Sussex.
say.
Everyone come in, come in.
Yeah, it's just really hard to
Didn't
say
you
if he
tell
will
me
or not.
that Paula was sick? Perry, didn't you tell me Paula was sick?
Yeah, yeah. She had the c word.
I
I
hope.
don't know if we said it.
Oh,
Um,
she had the Paula. I hope you're feeling better. You had the C word.
yeah,
All right, we should be going live right now. They're not live. Let me go make sure I'm not missing it. Hold on 1 second.
yeah. But no, it's crazy. Like, it's possible that he could. I don't know, but if you surrender the passports, you did this. Cause hell, if this trial go on, it might be 2 years down the road. But I mean, some of the stipulations that he was saying in that thing that he's willing to be at the house, no girls over, no internet, no cell phone. I don't believe all that shit. Now, I just, somebody gonna have something. The maid, he ain't gonna be in that big ass mansion by his damn self. We have no internet. Just saying. But we'll actually see what happened today. We'll sort of see.
I
And
like to
if
go through the
anybody,
Associate Press.
yeah, you can try them and try CNN too.
Well, they're not on yet, so I'm just going to switch over here to this one, this channel, and
Okay.
hopefully I can go back because they're my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They'd be out there just watching and shit. But
Yeah.
I don't know. What you guys think though? Like, if he's putting the $50 million up with all these promises, and I guess they saying that they would have some kind of people at the house, federal agents or whoever
Oh,
monitoring.
there's Mama Perry. There's the madam. How
Janice.
somebody told me the mom was in her 90s.
Really? No, I don't think she in her 90s.
Yeah, let me go look it up how old she is. Oh my God, they're screaming your son is a predator. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
They just called the man a predator. That is terrible.
Did she flip him off?
No, she didn't say anything. Perry.
Well, no, you know what? For real though, if that was
So
my
she's
kid,
here.
I think my
Diddy's
kid
probably
and he's going through and they saying your kid is a this and that. I'd be flipping them out, might be cursing them out on my way into the courtroom. Shit.
Perry.
Hmm?
Oh my God, I gotta watch my fight.
Let me see here.
I mean, but they trying real hard. They trying to discredit and say that it was all set up from Homeland Security. They don't leak the tapes, all kind of stuff, man. This is, I guess, when you fighting to, get somebody free. There's no limits on what you lie about and what you won't say.
Okay, Google, how old is Janice Combs?
Sorry, I don't understand. But I found something related. You want to know what the network of Puff Daddy is?
No. How old is Janice Combs?
Sorry, I don't understand.
It's not working.
I don't know why I get this Nicki Minaj song stuck in my head. And the crazy part, I don't even know the damn words to it. I just think that's what she was saying. It's crazy. That's what happened when you get my age. Shit just started to go south.
Someone said she's in her 80s. Somebody said they think she's 83. Wow.
Oh
She's
wow! I mean,
83.
yeah.
People keep saying 83.
Hmm,
She's
hmm.
at the Freakhouse in her 80s? Child.
Yeah.
Oh, Perry, I'm going to run upstairs and put on some eyeliner. You keep
Uh,
talking to yourself and take questions, and I'll be right back.
yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I mean, yeah, go ahead. But I mean, really, I don't think nobody's ever too old for the freak offs. Only because, like, most of the people that we see, these people who be out here buying it, spending their social security checks, they be like 80, 80 something. So they just still want that last hurrah, I think. So they'll just keep going.
Did you see?
So I don't know if it's true, but like they got wheelchair ramps and stuff at the freak offs. So you can have easy access and stuff. So anything's possible. And as we know, they got plenty of lube. So you can grease up your axles to your wheelchairs and everything. Now, people, we just joining into this whole thing to see if they're gonna release them. And we know how these little press conferences and all this shit go. We might be here for an hour and a half just looking, but hell, at least we got each other to talk to. What about that? We could talk to each other. Now, in between time and meantime, I might have to step out and I got this little bad habit of smoking, hitting my vapor and stuff, so I might have to step on the balcony. but I will be around just trying to make sure I see this because we're a family over here, people. When the shit go down, we gonna see it together. You hear me? All of us. And I can imagine if we had this internet stuff like this back in the OJ trial thing. Shit, people will wake up at 8 o'clock. We laying in bed with our phone on, watching it till 8 p.m. at night, because that's how long the shit was. The chase with OJ, he driving 15 miles per hour up I-5 and shit. Can you imagine how long it's gonna take your ass to get to LA at 15 miles per hour? And he down there in San Diego. Come on. Enough of my rambling. Let's get on to this. P. Diddy. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Well, no, we ain't gonna argue that part. Because y'all know how I feel.
That nigga is guilty.
But at the same time, look, okay, the man is not haven't been found guilty yet. And we know all the crazy shit he's been blamed for. If he putting up that $50 million and all that, and the stipulations of no girls at the house.
Harry, what are you talking about? I heard you from the bathroom.
No internet. Should them okay? Like I sort of go both ways. I think he's guilty, right? That's just my
Everybody
opinion.
knows he's guilty. He admitted to that part, Harry.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, but if you was in this situation and you got accused of something, and the world thought you was guilty, but you said, "Hey, I'm innocent," he haven't been proven guilty yet. Should he be allowed with this appeal reform thing to get his appeal to be stuck in a mansion? Because other people do it. I think it was some really rich guy. Shit. I don't think it was Epstein or nothing like that. It was somebody else in the last couple of years that got out, but they was living in a mansion and all this stuff. I can't even remember the name, so never mind. But rich people get these luxuries. Should he be allowed the luxury? If they got, guards around his house to make sure he don't leave. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling. Maybe this damn P. Diddy shit is just getting too outrageous for Perry. It's overwhelming. Every day is something.
Every day. Every day it's something.
If ain't nobody accusing you of a new crime, then you asking for another appeal. It's just too much.
So look, Devin bought me this.
What
He
is
brought
that?
me this.
Oh,
A
I know.
straw. You think
Yeah,
I leave this on? It's like a metal.
How did she get in there?
Oh, well, it's a metal straw, but I don't know what that little piece is.
So why was she here?
Let me see.
I mean, 'cause your other metal straws don't have that thing on it.
That might be something else. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking it's just like protection of the thing or something. I mean, your other metal straws don't have that. But you'll try some new
Seems
shit.
honest. I think the testimonies about threats keep him in. I do too. I really, really do. Diddy being bisexual is none of our business, but non-consensual acts and brutal SA with men, women, and children is a problem. It's a huge problem.
Right,
It
right.
is none of our.
And I'm glad Sussex brought this up, right? Because the whole thing is a lot of this stuff, people talk about gay activities and all this stuff that be having at the parties. It's not even about that, right? It's like whether it wasn't gay, it's not right for a heterosexual man to go and take it from anybody, a woman or anybody. It's just without their consent, right? So, but people get it twisted sometimes because you're talking about the activities at the Freak Fest. They think you putting it on that. No, you shouldn't be whooping no man's ass, no woman's ass coming down the hallway at the hotel. You just shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be pilling GRUGS. None of this stuff. All that stuff is crime. So people generally just take it and say, oh, well, they just saying it. It'd be okay if he wasn't gay. No, and I don't think he's gay. I think he's bisexual or whatever. People have that choice. Some people straight, some people gay, some people bisexual. And hell, I don't heard people say, I don't know if I'm going to make this up. Dextrose. I don't know. They be saying all kind of crazy shit. Tried. I don't know. And they got other things,
I
right?
don't really have a problem with gay rappers. I really don't. And I'm hoping that they come out to prevent stuff like this. Because my belief is that he didn't want the public so bad to know that he had gay lovers or bisexual, whatever you call it, that he did away with Kim. That's what I believe. And
Right.
we should just have open where we should provide a atmosphere for bisexual people, gay people, trans, whatever, to come out and live their life. And it kind of really bothers me because my best friend is trans, and it's just
Right.
some people, they're just ignorant and never get over it. When are we ever going to have a world when we can all live together in peace? Like, if that's not your thing, then it's not your thing. But we shouldn't stop anybody else from enjoying music from a gay rapper. It's just ridiculous. And I think Little Nas, does he get backlash? I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
listen
think
to
he get
Little
no much.
Nas.
You know what? I think he don't because he embraced it and came out. What was that song he hit? Back Road. Something. Man,
This person
what was that
says
song he sung?
that Wayne Brady is
Pan. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, because they got a
what's
lot of these
Pan?
different. I don't know. I don't know. Like, remember
Worry, what's Pan?
I remember I used to have my little show, and then people would come on and talk about different things.
Mhm,
And I thought it was weird. People would come on and say, "Oh yeah." I
mhm.
mean, I'm in a. It's like the girl had 2 husbands. I was like, "Well, how that shit supposed to work?"
Oh,
They got all these different things, and she's like, "Yeah, no, but it works out perfect because one is for financial, and then one is for SEX healing."
that's Paul Perry. Perry, that's
No, no,
listen
no,
to
no,
this.
no. And then it goes deeper, and then they go from that, but they can also date the same. I don't know. It's weird.
Hold on, Perry, hold on. That's Gloria Allred. Why is Gloria Allred there? She represents one of the victims, but hmm. I can't hear what she's saying. I
Can't hear
like
her
her.
neither.
Mm-mm. I heard he isn't just bisexual, but bi with diseases. I heard of that too about the
That's a
diseases.
problem too now. Now
Yeah, that's a big
you
problem.
you can't go through infecting the world now.
Someone said someone called Gloria Allred a gold digger. She is. She really is.
She'll wake up. Did somebody say press conference? Shit.
Justice for Kim Porter.
Yeah.
Always. Always. We can't hear her. She's not
No, but
talking
I'll tell you
loud
this though,
enough.
Cheryl, for real. It's all kind of. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, until we can hear her, I'm gonna keep talking. All right. Now, there's a lot of stuff out there that people don't agree with, but the thing is, we all individuals and got different thoughts. We got different religions, different goals, different preferences, different fetishes, right? We got different things. We should be able to come together and just do that, as long as a person isn't forcing it on you. That's the issue I think we have with the Diddy allegations, is that he weakened people and then took advantage of them. I think that's the problem, not whether you was pan, tran, Artemocan, anything, any kind of anything that you may say, just all these different terms that's out there. It don't matter what you is. And I don't give a damn. Like Lil Nas, ain't nobody knocking on his door, raiding his house. It's okay. But
It
I
just
think it's the other
froze.
things Diddy did. Did you check back with your other one?
And yeah, they're not even airing it
Okay,
yet.
okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's
Going
just
on,
scrolling.
people?
It's still strolling at the bottom though. Okay, well, let me see.
I don't even see the people in the oh, there they are. They're in the chat. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Sharrell, forget to talk about. Wait, what? Okay.
Oh, damn. Somebody said they don't believe he in jail. Well, shit. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I wanted to address that, but my mom was texting me. They said that they don't even believe he's in jail. If you ask me, it sounds crazy. Like, where else would he be? But remember the mob say that people would let him out and stuff like that. So it could be possible. Wasn't it Lisa Bloom married to David Bloom who died? I don't know who her daughter. That's Gloria Allred's daughter. I don't know who Lisa's married to. I got very fond with Lisa when she was representing Mimi Leaks. Do you guys remember that?
oh,
Hi,
you said
Juanita.
Lisa Bloom is her daughter? Already?
You didn't know that? Mm-hmm.
And she's a lawyer too, right? The Lisa Bloom lady. No, am I just making? I don't know. I be hearing these names sometimes.
They're both
Okay.
lawyers. They're both lawyers.
Okay.
Keisha says, I'm wondering, will his mother or children be there? Well, we just seen the mom walk in. We just saw, what's her name? Her name is Janice. We just saw Janice walk in.
What does it mean to go against someone who has such financial means as Diddy?
And they said the kids went to see him, but I guess the kids got their life too. That they, this a bog up their whole life if they had to be at every little appeal and everything. They probably back in California, I think, the twins.
To know that he is the one that's recognizable by the world and could use his celebrity power in some way. Worry. But that's the job of
Gloria, you're a
those who support
champion
them
for victims.
to help them to have confidence that they're doing the right thing.
You want me to try to find another way to hear it?
This is a path.
Yeah.
Okay, well, give me a second. I'll be back.
You're a champion for victims' rights, Gloria. Thank you for helping get those New York laws right.
So I heard what she said. She said that she's showing up for moral support. It's important for everybody to make the victims feel comfortable in sharing their stories. So I guess some of them aren't feeling comfortable. Mm.
You sure it's this one, Josh?
I wonder how old Gloria is. She's walking kind of old. I used to think she was in her 50s, but hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Diddy always think that his money will clean up his troubles. Well, he just doesn't have his money now. They're saying that Clive Davis is helping. He has access to unlimited money. Unlimited. Gloria's in her 70s. Yeah, she looked kind of older. Sharrell with the shade. Oh, am I being shady? I always do that. I believe that Diddy has been warned that if he talks too much, his mother and kids are not safe out here. Want to try what?
Did she give you any good?
Right. She just was talking soft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Am I being shady again? Let's continue with the shade. And unlimited money doesn't help his case for bail and flight risk. I personally don't think he's going to get bail, but a lot of people in the chat said they feel that way, and a lot of people that own blogs, because I was talking to some of my friends, and they were like, these are the reasons why it's possible. You have a new lenient judge, Iran, I can't remember his last name, Subramarian, the new judge. He's has a reputation of working with the people that come in front of him. So they're saying that there's a different judge that's more lenient, and they're saying that this is worldwide, and there's nowhere where he could go to hide. If they let him out, he won't live. Clive wants him out. Oh, well, you know what? Grown and nosy, you might be right.
Clyde need him out so the rumors can stop, or the threats of being exposed more would stop.
I could see it, not liking how the others were able to pay off victims. I mean, they're going to pay off. They're paying off victims now. They're letting the famous people buy the tapes back. Is that fair? Clive is going to do him like Whitney. Oof. Hi, Justin.
You know,
You might be right.
Sharrell, you know what though? Even if that's true, like,
Mhm.
like with this Diddy, things gonna come out every day about it, whether true or not. Do you think people, because I thought about this, do I think people actually paying them off, taking certain things from them? I don't really know if it's true or not. Because I think, just in my opinion, a lot of people see this as a money grab, including
Well,
uh alleged victims, alleged
you're talking about
attorneys.
Adria English. So
Yeah,
I'm going to cover that today. They found text messages of her asking somebody to
her ex-boyfriend.
help people believe that she was a victim. I think you do have people like that are in it for money, but you also have real victims. And I think that the liars are going to get weeded out.
Right.
Sherry says, Clive Davis says he doesn't know Diddy. Child, with all those pictures, come on, Clive. Jaguar told y'all, but y'all said she was crazy. I did say that, but I don't say it now. I don't say it now because with Jag, first of all, I don't have anything against Jag anymore. And you just with anybody, you have to learn to weed out the things that seem true to you and then the things that don't seem true to you. Because there was a problem with somebody else, another blogger talking crazy. He was just talking crazy. So I do not think Jag is lying. Her track record speaks for herself. Janice Combs is 83 years old, born on December 21st, 1940. Thank you, Francine. That's a long time. So she's an older woman, but we all seen with our own eyes her getting a vitamin drip with her son after the freak off with the white painted nails and then the creepy kiss. Mm, I never kissed my son on the lips. I have two sons. Never, ever. Maybe when they were little, I don't take a shower, go to the bathroom with the door open. None of that. None of that.
I mean, for me personally, it's been never, not even, you could have been 5 weeks old. Never on the
I
forehead.
never, I never,
On the
never took a
forehead.
bath with my boys, even when they were little. No, I just don't do that. I'm sorry, but she still be saying a lot of wild stuff. Just because someone has been true, don't mean everything is the gospel. That's what I'm saying. You have to
Right,
learn to
right.
figure out what part you feel is true and what part you feel is not true. But there's just evidence that Jag says a lot of things that are true. Maybe you guys don't feel it, but I've talked to her about this years ago. So it's yeah, that's what I believe. Hi, Cassandra. Jag is crazy despite what she has said. She's mentally ill. That's another thing, too, Cassandra. How do you feel about people saying she's crazy? Don't listen to her. She suffers from bipolar. Because a lot of people suffer from bipolar. We just don't know it. And if they are honest enough to tell us, should we discredit everything they say? And I know what you guys are talking about when Jag was at the the airport and at the barber shop with the putting the son's ashes on the face. But she kept telling the TSA officer, I'm not on my meds. I'm not on my meds. You heard her say that. So I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah, I agree. Crazy doesn't mean you're wrong. Thank you. I don't want to do that to. There's lots of people that suffer from mental illness. I don't want to shame them for being mentally ill or make others try to hide the fact that they have a disease that they can't control. Today
Yeah.
is World Mental Health Day. Please take care of your mental health. And if this is too triggering for you, step back and love yourself. Oh, thank you, Yvette. Yes, you guys, if it's too triggering, please. I try. Listen, I have people in my family that suffer from mental health. It's not their fault. They got to stay on their meds. They got to stay on their meds.
Yeah.
And so I'm real cautious about shaming the mental ill. Go ahead, Perry.
No, I was gonna say this too, right? Like I think when people say mental illness, and I'm guilty of it all the time, right? For me personally, like if somebody says something outlandish and weird, I'll say, "Oh man, you better get your crazy ass out of here." I just use it, and I probably shouldn't say it like that because even if the person crazy telling you your house on fire, your house really might be on damn fire, right? So I shouldn't act like no damn psychiatrist or some doctor and diagnose somebody. But I think it's just a common term we use all the time. But
But you don't mean it like that. You don't mean it like that.
right. I don't mean it like that, but I do say it.
There's
So
been times in my life that I've had nervous breakdowns. And Perry, you were there when I had a nervous breakdown. I just
yeah,
worked so much that my body never felt rested, and I just started crying uncontrollably. And at first, I didn't know what was wrong with me, and then I realized I'm having a nervous breakdown from all, like I had worked one time, probably like a year straight without a day off, 7 days a week. So mental health is important, and I would cry, because that's what I do when I have a nervous breakdown. I cry uncontrollably, and I really need rest.
mhm.
But does that mean I don't know what I'm talking about because I had a nervous breakdown? No, it just doesn't. I feel. When did Clyde say he don't know? There's a paper trail, and that whole statement doesn't make no sense at all. I think they were just saying, like, like he's not coming around now. Like he acting like he don't know Diddy. They will let him out, so he has a chance to escape. Watch. Well, we'll see. I
So
mean,
okay, let's say if he escaped, what would happen to all his businesses? I mean, can he really truly? I guess you could start selling stuff. He sold something. If he escaped, he would lose the bond money. Do you think?
escape to where, Perry? Where would he
Yeah, I
go?
mean, he can go and hang out with Russell, I guess, right? But what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
couldn't they cap his money, his funds from the United States, or I don't know if they can or not.
Oh
If
yeah, I
if
I heard
so,
about that.
if
Yeah,
so, why haven't they did it to Russell?
because uh Diddy has homes outside of the United States, and I'm sure he has bank accounts outside of the United
Mhm.
States. And I just feel that he has Swift bank accounts because they prepared for him to come to jail. So I don't think he's ever going to go broke. And I think that Lucian Grange and Clive is going to help him no matter what happens.
Mm.
And the more powerful person is pulling all these strings to expose Diddy and hide all the people that are more powerful. They're saying that the Diageo, the alcohol company, is playing a major role in this even today. They want to break Diddy. They want him to have nothing. That's what they're saying. I was listening to another blog last night. She was saying that. Yes, they need to find them tapes overseas, child. They are definitely tapes overseas. Why Aeon bail? Why? Children are involved, slipping things in women's drink and essay. That's okay by you? I mean, I don't know. They're saying he's more lenient. We'll see what he says. It's not okay, but you never know until you go in front of the judge. But they're saying he's more lenient. And that had to be some kind of setup. Why all of a sudden he's got this lenient judge? We'll see.
Mhm.
Gloria Allred, Leor Cohen, Jimmy Iovine, Clive Davis, your sports franchise owners, you're talking about Robert Kraft, law firms, media are all the same lineage. I believe they're all helping each other. The guy that had the affair with Meek Mill, that was Robert Kraft, right, Perry?
Well, see, I'm not sure of the relationship that they said it that he gave him business advice. They built the relationship off that. But I'm just saying, like,
He lying. He
well,
lying.
just like, people will be sitting on Diddy's lap and say, "Oh, we were just we were just friends at a party." You know who I'm talking about? We don't know if they actually
Uh,
had a relationship or not. But when you start adding all the other stuff up, people just speculate that they got their freak on.
Deborah says, just because a person has a mental illness does not mean they are not telling the truth. That's exactly what he did, and all his other posses wants us to believe, as long as people believe she's discredible. That Jag is not lying. These are the stories she's been repeating for years. And I remember one time she told me that Jay-Z was following her. Do you remember this, Perry? And I said, no one's following you, Jag. And we got into like a back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
She's not lying. And I could sit here and say she's lying because it's a lot of people don't agree with me. But I'm not that kind of person. If I know that you've repeated this to me way before the trial, way before the Diddy stuff comes out, then that's what I'm going to do. And I think it bothers some people that I'm telling the truth. Like, no, Jag has been saying this probably since 4 or 5 years ago. I can't do that if I know something different. And a lot of people want me to lie, and I'm just not going to lie. So why do I believe Jag? Because she personally said these things to me about 3-4 years ago. So I'm not cut from that cloth. I just don't say what everybody wants me to say because it's the popular thing. I know better. So I just have to. I don't know. I'm waiting for 50 cents now. Mm-hmm.
She has been
Go ahead,
standing for a long time. I'm saying she's been standing for a long time. So if a person told you years ago this certain situation, and then you come to find out that most 80% of what they said is happening now, how can you discredit what the person said back then? I mean, and people will say, well, she heard it from other people or she heard this. It don't matter. If she said it and heard it from other people and it's coming true now, what she said wasn't probably an actual lie. You know what I'm saying? It was just things she heard and things that was going on. But outside of that, let's take this moment and just say, hey, prayers out to the people in Florida, to their healthy recovery from this Hurricane Milton, because that was crazy. I was watching videos from that. That shit was wild. But I just want to just say that before we got back to P. Diddy.
Keisha says, anyone knows somebody at the jail that seen Diddy? He's not going to come through the front. He's going to go through the back. So I'm surprised that the mom came through the front. We saw the mom come through the front. And sometimes the boys come through the front, and then sometimes they go in the back.
Sharrell,
so he had a visit.
It could be, do anybody have a cousin or a friend that's incarcerated that have seen Diddy? It goes back to that question. Is he really in there? No,
because he's in consolidatory confinement. I hope I said that right. Consolidatory confinement. He's by himself because he's considered
he's in the presidential suite.
Oh, here goes something different. I want to hear this person. She says, free Diddy, then girls knew what was up. A lot of people feel like Pam, and Pam, and I agree. I mean, I understand where you're coming. No, I hear what you're saying, but you have to remember there was alleged minors involved. That's where, for me, like if it was just a bunch of horny people, having freak offs, fine. And then also too, they're saying that he's lacing. Is something happening? I see the cops moving. He's lacing people's drinks without them knowing. And I really do believe after what we've seen, somebody's coming. Somebody famous is coming.
Probably his boys.
The boys.
Ain't seen them yet. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing.
Let me say this, Pam. I really do believe Dame Dash was a victim of drinking something in his, putting stuff in the drink. I really do. Because after what we saw the other day, Dame Dash, he was a victim. But I think he's too proud to come out and say it.
And then something had to happen. I mean, because he kept talking about that one time he did have something, and then just sort of had a blackout moment. I think he could have said that, but something happened for him to start bringing his own bottle.
Yeah.
Remember, he said he
Yeah.
started bringing his own bottle to everything.
Humans, nature says 15-year-old girls aren't old enough to give consent. And then the lacing. Don't forget about the lacing, human. You don't do people like that. And people are blanked. And people talking about Free Diddy. I think they forget, Sheila, about the children. Nobody in their right mind is supporting the children. And they forgot about the lacing, in which Little Rod said the specific people who laced Christina Coram, Frank Santella, and somebody else I'm forgetting. But that's not right. Thank you for the super chats. I am or lamb. I am. Just imagine for a sec being his mother. His mom is the reason Diddy has mental health issues, because you invite a minor to her freak offs, she's to blame. I mean, no, she's not to blame, but she's the reason he has mental health issues and he never got help for that. That's not normal when you're a damn child, and plus something about introducing sex to a child, it does something to them.
Yeah.
They have to be mentally prepared for that. Had Aaliyah, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know. It amazes me how people have evidence in their face and still remain supportive and deviant, like Diddy, Epstein, R.K. Bill, and the list goes on. What I think, Mimi, is that people like Adria English, the girl that was lying, I think a lot of people say, well, not all of those people are victims. Some of them are money grabbers. That's what I think.
Right.
That's what I think they're coming from.
That's what I think too. I think this too, right? Now, I would think, like people would say, thousands of people that was taken advantage of, right? When these people coming out, and I feel the same way sometimes. Like, and
Hold on, Perry. What does that say? It says Puff tried to K, and then what does it say on the bottom?
Oh shit, they gonna spin in the back around.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh yeah, no. Damn, I forgot what the hell I was gonna say.
About people saying,
oh yeah, no, I
let
was saying
Diddy
this.
go.
Oh, yeah,
What
like I understand the questioning, right? Because even I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna in my Dr. Heavenly voice, but I'm gonna take it back. Look, I seriously think, and I know in this world we have true victims, and then we have some people that jump on the bandwagon for money, and that's just a fact. Hard to say who's a victim and who not. And the last thing, and I had to back off of it because I used to be on Lil Rod bad, but just because that was my opinion. But I can't say somebody is lying without a fact. So I guess I got to just roll with it. But I just know people will fabricate stories just to get paid, just to get attention sometimes. And some of these people are doing it. So when people see stuff like that, they'll say, oh, everybody knew what they was getting into. I think, and I would just say this, like, I think if a John met a prostitute on the street, they both knew what they was getting into. But when they went into that room and that John K'd her, did she ask for it? You know what I'm saying, Sharrell? It don't mean that she asked that she knew what she was getting into. I don't know if that makes sense, but go ahead.
What are you trying to say?
Okay. I'm saying even though a person is a gold digger, right? Or they go there to service something. That's what they went to do. But they didn't go for the extra stuff, like being
oh yeah, and being
right.
slipped in the drink.
Right.
Also, too, you guys in the chat, I can't say the word DRUG, so I use the word lace. Sure says, We are here in Georgia, are still trying to get back to normal after Hurricane Helene. I know. Some are still without power, food, and FEMA is asking 25 plus questions just to get $750. So look,
Damn.
I heard on the news that life insurance, flood insurance people weren't paying everyone their money because you don't know what came from Helene and what came from Milton. That's a mess. I will never move to Florida. I will never move back to the East Coast because of the storms. Someone's getting out the car. Let's see who this is. Open the door. Open the door.
Huh.
Is that a daughter? Who is that?
Hi, girl. Okay.
Chat. Who does anyone know who this is?
Who with you? Okay.
Is that Chance? Is that Chance? That's the girls.
Quincy, take care of
The
those
kids.
girls.
Oh, it's Justin. It's the kids.
Take care of those girls. You guys stay together.
My heart breaks for them kids. Where's Quincy? Oh, there he is. Quincy's there. Jeez. Them kids.
Hmm.
I don't know, y'all. I don't hate the kids. I feel bad for the kids. I just do. What is that noise?
Oh, okay.
Is it a police escort? What's going on here, people?
I don't understand why all these people
So everybody's there. Mom is there. Kids are there. He's somewhere in the back. Deborah says, I just want you to know how much I respect you. Oh, thank you, Deborah. You are a GOAT in the game. And your words is credible. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wait
That's so
a
sweet.
minute. Yeah, that was sweet.
Somebody's getting out the. Who else could it be? Oh, the attorneys. Now they're probably already there. What do you think, Perry?
Yeah, I mean, this shit lining up like they about ready to have a party. Like, he ain't gonna be released, is he? What y'all think? I know I asked earlier in the thing, but this
Why
seems like
why all of a sudden you feel like he's gonna be released?
I don't know. It's like something in the air. Like it's like a big reunion. Everybody come. You know how like when a person have a release date, everybody shows up. Even at the other things, you see some people, but they're showing up like it's a damn family reunion, and we about ready to rejoice. I don't know. That's just
Look
me.
at that dog. You guys remember my dog passed away? I need a new dog. Human Nature says, I only feel sorry for his daughters. I feel so, because you're talking about too, because Justin, who they call Mini Diddy, he was too involved in the damn freak offs, just too much. I wonder where his mom is. Where is Misa? Misa Hilton, where are you? Me too, Perry. I have a bad feeling. Y'all got a bad feeling? Y'all think
No,
Diddy getting out?
it's almost like that
$50
song.
million?
I
Oh, a
can
lot of
feel
people
it
think he's getting out.
in the air tonight. Hold on.
Elite says, yeah, he's getting bail. Feds were wrong for leaking the tapes. So wrong, okay? And he has new attorneys fighting for him. Anthony Rico is a beast, and all Red's clients messed it up. Oh, she did. So listen, I was telling y'all, I don't think he's getting out. But I was talking to bloggers last night. A lot of people think he's getting out. I don't. If he gets out, he's just going to go and do what he always do, and that's pay people off and bully people.
Sharrell,
That's what
how
I
you gonna
think.
feel when they come out and they released him and he walked down them steps and they start playing his music? I told you that we won't stop. I told you.
I'm gonna feel scared for the victims. That's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel.
Yeah, no.
They better not let that man out.
I don't know. It's weird though. Like those other two hearings, I didn't feel this way. But it's just feeling. I don't know. I mean, they
What
might
about
just.
this? Get a clue says he's not getting out. He's a flight risk. Respond to that, Perry.
But then his attorneys and what they're fighting is like he's not a flight risk. They surrendered not just his passport, the whole family. So typically, when somebody go on the run, that got that kind of bank, they might take the whole family. They saying that he surrendered all that, that he'll be on house arrest, and
He
I
did.
think they mentioned something to the effect that they would have some kind of security, like I don't know, I'm not sure if it's the feds or whoever around the house to make sure he don't escape. I'm not exactly sure about that part. They said security. He always
He
have
don't have to
security.
leave the house. He don't have to leave the house. All he has to do is send one of his people in the what was it called? The inner circle. What was it called?
Oh,
The
it was
enterprise. All he has to do is send somebody from the enterprise, and that's it.
oh yeah, but they
Roxy
was talking
said
about
people are
escaping
already
though.
being paid off, even yeah, even when his even with him being in jail, because there's too many other people involved. They are paying people off, the Jay-Z's, the Oprahs, the Beyonce's. Now I can accept Jay-Z and Beyonce. What y'all talking about Oprah? What y'all talking about? Thank you, Ground Buddy, for the super chat.
I got my dog.
I think somebody mentioned Oprah was at
How
the.
long did you say?
She's been working 7 years now.
Oh wow.
Not with me.
That's what they're
Somebody
saying.
Not with
mentioned.
you?
One
I
of
don't
the
see
Homeland Security
Oprah.
guys.
Yeah.
No, no,
I
no,
don't
no.
know though.
Original
I don't. But I'm just saying
I
somebody.
go,
I'm
I
saying
thought you
that's
went
what I'm
to
saying. As
corrections.
long
I
as this
said,
go
"Yeah."
on,
And they
we
said,
gonna get
"So,
all
for
kind
the
of
Homeland." I go,
speculation
but she
Ah.
on
recognized
things. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Recognize the Homeland Security. You're like a little canine
Yellow
dog.
Flower
He
said
used to
he
work
should
for
go
us.
where there's no
Oh.
extradition.
Left the
Let me
company
pull that
to
up.
get
I'm
the
gonna
dog
go.
back.
I can't see you guys now. I'm on
I
another
got her
page.
after he
I'm
left.
gonna see what countries have no extradition laws.
So what does Rosalind do most of the time?
Explosive.
Explosions?
Explosive.
Explosives? Okay.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah,
check
we got to
on
get
the
another
things
dog,
that
Sharrell.
Oh, okay.
roll the trucks and everything.
I need a dog.
Devil's games too. That's where I'm going later. The home opener.
Oh wow.
I need a dog bad. Should we get a big dog like that?
Aw.
No, I don't want no big one though.
Okay, here are the
Yeah,
countries
our audience
with no
loves the
extradition
dog.
laws. I'm turning this down just a little so I can hear myself talk. Oh, I can't. I forgot. Let me do it this way. I can't. Hold on. I love dogs. Look at that little baby. All right.
We
Oh,
can
I
hear you
got
though,
two of
Sharrell.
them on at the same time. Hold on.
We can hear you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Here are the countries with no extradition laws. Indonesia, Algeria, Central African Republic. I think they call that the Congo. I'm not sure. Cambodia, Bhutan, China. Who the hell gonna go to China? Montenegro, Brunei, and Cuba. 8 more. Hold on. Let me go down the list. Moldova, Morocco, Afghanistan, Botswana. That's where I would go. Bosnia, Mongolia. I might go there too. Laos. I might go there too. And Andorra. There you go. So those are the countries with no extradition laws. I would go to Botswana or no, Cuba. No. I would go
Yes,
to an African country. I would go to an
but
African country or
if
Laos
he don't have a passport and he in Miami, he might just jump on the fishing boat and go to Cuba.
and go to Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you give Cuba enough money, they'll send your ass back. That's what I think.
Well,
They will
or
send you back.
vice versa. Or if you paying the person in charge enough money, they'll let you stay. Maybe.
Sharon said, if he gets out, be prepared for the Antichrist.
Mm.
He just doesn't need to get out. He just doesn't need to get out. Bali, Indonesia with Russell. Even if he makes bail, the feds will still be monitoring him. That's what Perry just said. I still don't want him to get out. Look, I just found y'all channel like 2 weeks ago. You did? Thank you, Shay. And I'm obsessed. Oh, that's sweet. I love the content and the dynamic. Thank you. Thank you. Cuba might be one of his one of his options since he partied a lot there in the early 2000s. But the only thing I worry about Cuba is that if the government gave them enough money, they might send them back.
Right, Sharrell.
That's
But the
just,
part,
you know, 'cause
the part you missing though. What if he gave them enough money
to
and
stay, yeah, you're right.
he can jump in that fishing boat and just pedal? He in Cuba and he can get up there and party like it's 1999. Look, let's keep this real, Sharrell.
Period. Stop. I think his party days, his freak off
No,
days
no,
are
no, no,
over.
no. He can
That's what
really
I'm.
get his freak on in Cuba. He'll have money, and you can say, "Well, I wouldn't want to go to this place. Anything better than a jail cell." At the end
This
of the
person
day,
said, "Did OJ have bail? He did. He had bail. Did or Cosby? I think Cosby was out on bail.
yeah,
What they're
he
saying
had
is,
bail.
this is what people are saying. No, Cosby was out. Cosby was out.
He
Because I
had
remember
bail.
the day they took him.
No,
Yeah,
Jay
he
had
had
bail
bail.
too. Yeah,
They all had bail. And so the people that are saying that he should be released, their argument is this is overkill. You let a lot of people out.
on
But
bail.
a lot of people didn't bribe BULLY the witnesses. That's the difference.
You
That's
know
the
what? That's weird
difference.
though. That's one of those conversations that you can argue day and night. Because look, we in America and we know shit ain't right equally across the board. A lot of people have been released after doing the most craziest thing is sending somebody bye-bye, making them disappear, and people still get bail. So I
Harry,
can see the argument.
who would take out if you had to guess? Who would take out Diddy? People are saying
No, no, no,
Clive
no,
Davis.
no,
Clive
no, no,
Davis
no,
is 91 years old
no,
now.
no. I mean, no, no, no. I'm not saying nobody taking him out. I'm saying people who've been incarcerated for and somebody have been let out on bail. Is what I'm saying is that people who don't did other stuff just as bad, right, have been let out on bail too. So I see the argument, but the argument on the other
But
side is like, hey,
he's high profile. He's high profile, and he has an unlimited amount of money.
right, and then people
That's why
saying
you
that
can't. That's why I
even
say
when
no.
he's out, and their argument is when he's out that he'll be threatening people, being corrupt, paying off witnesses and stuff like
He
that,
is.
like he did with Sean, allegedly.
Mm.
Yeah.
They will only blackmail him. I don't know who that is. Perry is too crazy. Thank you. Thank you. Perry, did you take your meds? Just that's a joke. That's a joke. That was a
See,
bad joke.
back off your board now.
Who said y'all feeling sorry for the wrong Negro? Who we feeling sorry for? Did he? He argued your dog. No, whoa, you didn't hear the whole conversation.
Oh
Ain't
no, no,
nobody
no, yeah,
feeling
no, no.
sorry for Diddy.
They got it though. Nobody's feeling sorry whatsoever. We just simply saying on both sides of the aisle, you got
What the
people
other
saying that.
argument could be.
I mean, and if you always heard what I said, just remember this.
Get out there. That nigga is get out there.
So the bail stuff, I don't feel sorry for him. Not at all. That's what we always state. But we'll be on
Miss
this
Giselle, he was just giving the
huh?
Miss Giselle, he was just giving the other side what their argument could be.
Oh, right, right.
That's the reason. But hey, new lawyers, new judge. Enough said. P. Diddy has friends in real high places. His kid's
Exactly.
godfather is Ron Burkle. Who is that? Worth 3.2 billion. Well, just having Clive Davis is a lot of money, and then Lucian Grange, that he has an unlimited amount of money available to him. So
Yeah, no, so it's crazy. And the people argument, they have priests who don't have their own personal freak offs that was out. So I understand both sides.
Perry, people don't believe you. Can you just say stupid shit? What priest have you known that had a freak off, Perry?
No, 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 no. See, when I say these things, I say it like that.
You
It's been a
made
lot.
that up.
No, 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 no. It's been a lot of priests that have done these things that didn't get arrested. That's a fact. It's been out there. two minors.
Oh God, Perry.
Okay.
Muhammad said, "Is Jay-Z next?" As Jaguar said, Jay-Z should be next. I've totally changed my opinion of Jay-Z. I really feel that Jay-Z is behind setting up Jaguar Wright, and nobody's gonna believe me, but it's Jay-Z. It's Jay-Z. And I think this. So I was talking to my blogger friends last night, and they were saying how they don't like Beyonce anymore, and people are going after Beyonce. Just remember, I'm not ready to turn on Beyonce yet. I'm not saying I won't, but right now I'm not willing to. I'm not ready to. But because Jay-Z and Beyonce are two different people. People always think that I think like my husband. I do not think like my husband. We
No,
have
not
two
at all.
different opinions. So, so you guys be careful with Beyonce because she's getting a lot of hate. I was shocked. She's getting a lot of hate. Jaguar is next for being dumb and psychotic. Y'all are wrong. Don't talk about Jag like that. Don't talk about Jag like that. That dog looked tired. I miss my dog. My dog died, you guys. I need another dog. These are sick people. They are very sick people.
Right.
Diddy grew up. His dad was a trigger man. Okay, so when you're a trigger man, I'm thinking you're detached from your feelings, so you could take out anybody. And I do believe that he's responsible for taking out Kim, Tupac, and Biggie. He feels nothing about it. He's desensitized about sex. He's seen his mom do it her whole life. She invited him to the freak Oz. He's a disturbed individual, and I don't know if Diddy can get any better because this has been going on his whole life.
Yeah, can you please read that super chat that you just overlooked?
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I'm sorry,
see,
guys.
I see how you
I'm sorry. I just
no, the chat you just had up. You bounced off of it. You glossed over it. But no, it
I'm
said
so
Perry is
sorry, and
right.
I can't find it.
No. It's okay. They said Perry is right. But you just browsed over that.
Oh, now I lost another one I wanted to talk about. Jeez. Here's one. Ron Burkle, Uber, Airbnb, Soho House, NHL, Pittsburgh Penguins. He is not new to controversy. That is P. Diddy's boy and the godfather of his kids. I never heard of him. My people, when you have money, it changes the game.
Okay.
Let me look up this Burkle guy. Hold on one second,
You
guys.
really do.
I can't see you. I can't see you guys anymore. I'm on a different screen. Go ahead, Perry.
No. Money changes all that shit. So I mean that's the whole thing. I mean, some people get
Oh,
locked up for the rest of their life.
he's strange looking. He's weird looking. He looks like a
Oh.
geek. I can't show you because yeah. He's strange looking. Very weird looking. But so does Elon Musk. Some of these men look strange. Some of the richest one.
Yeah.
What's taking so long? I don't know. Judge waiting on his money. Oh my
Yeah. I mean,
God.
they're in the back room right now. They're in the back room right now cutting checks.
She says
Well,
that he's fixing.
I'm going to grab something to drink. Are you back?
Okay. That he's fixing to get paid for letting this scum go free. It's taking a long time. What time is it? I've been sitting here an hour, y'all. We've been sitting here an hour. Hi, Aphrodite. They put in the money in the cash machine. Counting it, child. Maybe nothing should take this long. Nothing. Hey, Renee, I seen you. I couldn't catch your comment. Who we got here?
Jesse Weber, and welcome to our special coverage here at Long.
Oh,
Sean
let
Diddy
me turn this
Combs,
down.
as today the indicted in federal court for a status hearing.
Hold on.
Seeing a live shot outside of that federal courthouse right now, and it's important to sit.
I turned it down. Perry, go see what's taking so long. If you know, ask your other friends what's going on. Can you email him or text him and see if he's there? And tell us what's taking so long.
All right, hold on. Give me a few minutes.
Okay. Jeez. Let me go look on. I got another channel. Hold on, guys. Let me look on the other channel. Yeah, they're not doing anything either. He owns Costco as well. You're talking about Burkle. Turn it back up. It's scheduled for 2 p.m. right now. Okay.
Electronic
Oops.
material, cell phones, laptops, business records, physical evidence. What those materials contain, we do not know yet, but it's being shared to the other side. And therefore, there's going to be questions of how long it will take to extract the data. Will it be turned over to the defense? How long it will take to be turned over to the defense? But it's also possible we can learn more about a potential trial date. It seems that Sean Combs wants this to happen in the spring of 2025.
That's what I
We may
heard.
learn some other deadlines in this case. And there may also be an issue. So be on the lookout for this that we brought up. This defense filed last night something very interesting. They said they are looking for a hearing to determine if the government engaged in misconduct. More specifically, did the Department of Homeland Security, you know, the agents that raided Sean Combs' properties, were they the ones who leaked the 2016 surveillance video that appears to show Combs beating his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura? It's quite the accusation, and we'll talk more about it. But to be clear, what we don't think is going to be brought up today is the issue of bail. Combs' defense attorneys, they have appealed his denial of bail, his pretrial detention, to a higher court, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. We'll see how that shakes up. But I think there's going to be more issues that are pressing today. And what makes today's hearing also interesting is this is now in front of a new judge. The new judge assigned to Combs' case out of the Southern District of New York is the Honorable Arun Subramanian. So it'll be interesting to see how he now handles these matters in a very, very high-profile case. Now, unfortunately, although we have cameras outside the courthouse, there are no cameras allowed in federal court. I could talk day and night about how I think that's a mistake. That's a subject for a different day, but
Hold on one second, guys. This super chat says Lucian Grange net worth 250 million. Ron Burkle net worth 3.2 billion. Wow. Okay. Hi, Renee. Court starts at 2 p.m. It just started. Okay, so hopefully it'll go quick. But I didn't know that they are accusing the feds, Homeland Security, of leaking the tapes. Let's listen to a little bit more of what this guy has to say. Wow.
I have some great guests to talk about this. I have a great selection of guests that are coming out in the next couple hours. I'm joined right now by Brian McMonagle, the defense attorney from Philadelphia, a very acclaimed defense attorney, frequent guest on Sidebar. And also
Carrie's talking to somebody. Oops, I missed the super chat.
A lot of preliminary issues that need to be worked out. What are you going to be looking for?
I think it's
Ron Burkle gave Diddler $100 million to start Sean John, making him a $700 million in man. He's his sugar daddy. What? I never heard of this man. But listen, you guys, this guy just said something that is the truth, if you ask me. Homeland Security leaked the tapes. Diddy might have a case. Why did they do that? Why would they do that? Let's keep listening. That is crazy.
imagine the timing of getting it and then the time it's going to take to go through every single piece of it from the defense perspective. The government's had this information for a while. The defense wants it tomorrow. And I think that, part and parcel of that, what'll happen today is the judge at least getting input from the parties, as he already has by way of a letter, how quick they want to try this case, what kind of deadlines they want to set, and how soon he can schedule those deadlines so they can be met.
So, Ava, I'm going to read you a portion of what the defense said in this joint letter to the court. And it says, the defense intends to ask the court to require the government to immediately produce certain categories of information, namely copies of Mr. Combs' electronic devices that were seized over 6 months ago and at the time of his arrest, and certain categories of requested Brady material, and to timely review and produce the remaining Rule 16 material in their possession. So what does that mean exactly?
Well, in regards to the Brady material, what that means is evidence that the prosecutors are going to potentially use against Combs. One of the things is he is able to, and also it's required that they produce all evidence to Combs that is going to be used against him. So he's able to evaluate it and prepare a proper defense.
And look, Brian, we don't know what this video evidence is, but the defense wants it. They want him, like you said, they want to go to trial. I mean, this is what they wrote in the letter. Mr. Combs continues to assert his right to a speedy trial and intends to request a trial date of April or May 2025, and as consistent with the court's trial schedule. That feels like around the corner when you're talking about terabytes and terabytes of information, and they are saying we're putting the government's feet to the fire. We want all this material as soon as possible. Is that ambitious? April, May 2025?
Overly ambitious. And the reason for the ambition is pretty self-evident. He's incarcerated. This is a celebrity, multi-millionaire who is incarcerated, and they want to get this done. I think it's ambitious because the turnaround is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to go through all of this evidence to see, what exculpatory evidence is there. They don't want to look at what the government thinks is important. They want to look at everything so they can find out what's important for the defense here. What's interesting is, though, that the most important pieces of evidence, besides that which is electronic and can be turned over, we're going to have, Jenks material. And, for a defense lawyer, the most important evidence in the case are the FBI 302s and the grand jury testimony of witnesses. Who are the witnesses going to be? What have they said to the government? How many times have they been interviewed by the government? That evidence we won't see until perhaps no sooner than 60 days before the trial date, or maybe within 2 weeks of the trial date, depending upon how lenient or conservative the judge is.
And my understanding is, especially with federal courts, the transparency is a lot more limited than if it was a state prosecution. But I mean, we could read between the lines, and I think even the defense suggested in their filings that victim number one with respect to that sex trafficking charge is Cassandra Ventura. So people have been saying she could be the star witness. We have an update for court. As I said, I'm going to provide everybody updates as this comes in. First of all, Sean Combs has been brought into the courtroom. Apparently, he came in through the side holding cell door. He is wearing jail pants. He is wearing a T-shirt. And he was seen smiling and hugging his lawyers. So as we talk about Sean Combs, the rap mogul, the business mogul, fall from grace, to see him in an outfit like this, to see him in this environment is very, very different. And Ava, we have a question from YouTube as well. So anybody who has questions about the case, questions about what's happening today, please submit them on YouTube. This is from Lori Crabtree. Is there a statute of limitations on some of the video evidence found? Meaning, can you not introduce some of the evidence because it's time barred?
Now, we know under the Mann Act that a lot of these allegations that go back in time.
The Mann Act is sex trafficking.
All right, I have to turn it down for a while to be considered, what's it called? Fair use. They said he's dressed in his jail garbs. Jeez. Wow. About the feds, someone said, how do we know that the feds leaked the tape? They're suing them. That's how we know. They are bringing this issue in front of the judge. So they wouldn't do that if they didn't know. I heard that court's in, right, Perry?
Yeah.
And they're waiting for.
He said no word yet.
Okay, let me get this. Hold on.
Excuse me. Yeah, but apparently they start, and they got stuff set up outside for the press conference if they decide to speak afterwards. But
Okay, yeah. So the people in the courtroom, they have
importantly,
so let's just and listen to this, Perry. They're saying that the feds leaked tape.
This might just be the first in a
Yeah, I
series
mean, that's
of
what I was
motions
telling you,
they
I think,
file
earlier this
trying to
morning,
keep the
that
government from leaking evidence that's going to
his
be
attorney is saying that
important to this
Homeland
case.
Security,
Anybody who
they
saw
ain't
that
blaming the people,
particular
the
video
prosecutors,
walked
they blaming them and trying to
disgusted.
prove it, that, you know, that it seemed
And
like it was a
obviously,
setup.
people
Say it again real quick.
That they basically claiming that it was a setup by Homeland Security.
All right, let's keep listening.
Sorry, Brian, your signal went out for one quick second, but no, I hear you. I hear exactly what you're saying, what the motivation might be. Ava, I'm going to read you a portion of the letter. This is from their filing. This is from Sean Combs' defense attorneys. As detailed below, the CNN leak was but one of a long and documented history of leaks and false statements made with one purpose: to savage Mr. Combs' reputation prior to trial. While the government's misconduct in this case is particularly egregious, it is unfortunately part of a trend in this district. The government has learned that it can strategically leak information with impunity. This court should exercise its authority to prohibit these underhanded tactics, which severely undermine a criminal defendant's right to a fair trial. And they not only say this video was leaked, but also the number of comments that were allegedly attributed to DHS agents talking about who they're interviewing and what material they're seizing. They have a point?
I think they're doing what a good defense attorney is trying to do: get the smoking gun evidence out of there any way you can. Now, the prosecutors did a reply letter, and in their reply, they said, look, the video leak didn't come from us, didn't come from the Department of Homeland Security. It wasn't part of the evidence we had for the grand jury. So your argument, although you're more than able to make it, and you have every right to, as a good defense attorney would, there isn't a leg to stand on. And I think that raises an interesting question with the defense strategy here. If they're bringing up, tactics saying prosecutorial misconduct, they better make sure that it is correct, because if it's not, they could become less credible in front of the judge. And that could shape the way this trial plays out for the defense if you lose the trust of a judge.
Well, and by the way, as I said, new judge here would go over this issue, but talking about, because we're getting comments now from our YouTubers, and Brian, I want to go to you about this. This is from Kiana Kane on YouTube. Do you think they will allow bail this time, and is he considered a high risk? First, before I throw this to you, Brian, to be clear, we don't believe that the issue of bail is going to come up in front of Judge Subramanian right now, that this is now going to be decided by a different court, a higher court, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. But having said that, I read their brief, Brian, and I don't know if you had the opportunity to either, but what they basically suggest, and I'm going to summarize it, is we put together a very attractive bail package: $50 million bail, home confinement, take away access to his phone, take away access to the internet, visitor logs. He will be monitored by a third-party outside security team. We will put together any conditions possible in order to make sure that he is not a danger to society, as prosecutors claim. And they also spend a large portion of the brief saying he knew he was under investigation since January and had his attorneys reach out to prosecutors. He gave up his passport. He's been doing everything.
Someone's saying that they're having a press conference. Now, I'm on the Associated Press at the same time. I don't see it. Can you hear me, Perry?
Yeah. Let me check again. I mean, because I was told they were just starting the thing, and I doubt if it happened that fast. Hold on.
Here's where they set up for the press conference. Let me show you really quick. They haven't approached the podiums yet. So no press conference. They're not even out of court yet.
Yeah, the hearing probably still going. It only started, I mean,
wanted to tell that person.
I don't know, like 10 minutes or so. I was told that they had just basically just started.
Perry,
Mm-hmm.
really quickly, if the feds didn't leak that tape, then who did?
Well,
they
okay,
have to get to the bottom of who leaked the tapes. But if the feds leaked the tape, they got a very good case.
Well, that could be true. But how simple do you think it would be to prove that? Like, I think if the feds did it,
Right.
they did it in a way that their hands would be clean.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I just think that's, because hell, if they don't have all these freak offs and all this and the tapes don't roll around, who can you actually say leaked it? I sort of agree, and we talked about it months ago. We was like, hey, they did it to help bolster their case by putting the Cassie thing out there so people can stop saying, oh, well, you just trying to take down a black man, right? Or whatever. They put it out, so you be like, damn.
They leaked the freak off tapes, the naked basketball, and the Diddy at the hotel putting his hands on Cassie. Wow.
So the hearing has officially started. Combs' new defense attorney, Anthony Rico, wanted to make it clear to the court that Mr. Combs' mother and his children traveled here from Florida and are seated behind me. Now, that's interesting because we talked earlier in the week, and by the way, to let everybody know, what you're seeing is the best any of us can do. There are no cameras allowed in that courtroom. This is not like a standard law and crime trial. I wish it was. I wish there were cameras in there, but federal courts, New York courts, they don't allow cameras in the courtroom. It's really a big disappointment. So we are going to do our best to relay to you in real time what's happening. And of course, as I mentioned, Elizabeth Milner's in there and she'll come out later. So that's interesting that his family's there. Obviously, his family's there, but his mom, earlier this week, and we did a sidebar episode on this, released a statement. And she basically told the world, don't judge him, allow him to present his defense. But also she said, he lied. He lied. He slept when he said he had, didn't do anything. And then he apologizes for the Cassandra Ventura video. He lied. I thought it was very interesting his mom released that statement through her lawyer, of course.
And I think lying versus committing sex trafficking and RICO type charges are two very different things. The law says you're innocent until proven guilty, and his mom being there could be a show of her belief that my son is innocent of these indictment charges until he's proven.
Yeah.
And I'm going to support my son.
Yeah, I understand that. And look, she came out with that statement after the charges, after the civil lawsuits. And look, unfortunately, she's, I think, 84 years old. She's probably wants to get this statement in, and it's her son. So I understandable that she said that. But at the same time, they're very serious accusations, and a number of people have levied very, very serious claims against him. Okay, so I have a question for both of you. I will start with you, Brian. This is from Nicholas Winter on YouTube. What are your views on federal court not allowing transparency via press coverage inside the courtroom? Would the video of the hearing be made public when the case is closed?
I couldn't agree more with the view that there ought to be access. The citizens have a right to see. They have a right to know. They want to see justice being made. And they don't have that opportunity in federal courts. We don't even have that opportunity in the state courts of Pennsylvania. And I know what the rules allow for. I know why those rules exist. But I think we're now at an age, a point in time in our nation's history, where our citizens require it. They want to be able to see it so they can believe it. And they want to have trust in the system. And I think that would give them at least some confidence that what they hear, what they read is what their eyes are telling them. So
I agree with you, Jazz.
Yeah, and not everybody's able to read an article about what happened, to have that visual medium, to have a clip unedited and put in context, of course, would really help provide that transparency. And no, there's not going to be a copy of the video after the case. There will be transcripts. We can see transcripts. That's probably the best we'll get. Courtroom sketches, as we're seeing. Ava, I'll give you the opportunity to respond to that as well. But if you want, I have another question for you.
Sure,
Actually,
go
you
ahead.
answered that. This Nicholas Winter asked for your opinion too. What's your opinion on that?
I don't think either of you are going to like my opinion. I think that it shouldn't be open to the public because the most important thing is the privacy of the victims, as well as to ensure that the charge, no matter how egregious the charges are, you have a right to a fair trial. And I think opening up to the public, having cameras in there could really impede on that right.
Brian, I want to give you an update about what's happening in court. Literally what we just talked about, the speedy trial. So the judge said the defense requested a trial in April or May of 2025. The judge says they can give them either month, and the judge offered May 5th. The defense said they will take May 5th,
Okay.
and the government says its case will take 3 weeks. Do you imagine this really happening in May of 2025? Less than a year after he was arrested and indicted?
It's unbelievable. It would really be the absolute unusual situation with the representations made about the amount of discovery in this case. But I get it. And, they have an obligation to not only protect, Mr. Combs, but to see to his wishes. And what he wants is his liberty. Now, if there's a determination, I can assure you, by the circuit court that he's going to be released, they may want to punt this case until maybe 2 years from now.
Right.
But while he's in custody, I can assure you they're going to be pushing for that May trial date. And guess what? This judge is basically saying, you want it? I'll give it to you. But don't come crying to me, 4 months from now if it's not working for your schedule. So interesting.
Yeah, look, I'm of the opinion, and I will back this up any day. I think he really thought he was going to make bail, be on house arrest for 1 year, 2 years, push it out as long as he wants. But now the fact, and I'll give you another update here, Ava. So the defense says it's going to take a week, 1 week to defend. And that seems to me, right, he's going to be locked up, try to get him tried as soon as possible, put this behind him. They feel confident. They feel confident in their defense against these charges right now. And we've kind of heard a flavor of it, right? That all of these freak-offs were consensual.
So there you go, guys. They're pushing for May 5th. The judge is going to grant it. He wants the trial to last 3 weeks. And Law and Crime says they don't see him getting bail today. They're not even going to bring the issue in front of the judge. They're taking it to a higher court. Ooh,
Video footage.
That's why difference.
That would amount
I think they could be talking about other
40
things.
days
But I think
of
they trying
watching
to low key get him released today too. I think
Well,
they
we'll
went ahead
see.
and filed to the upper courts just to show them, like,
In case.
they already filed, but they want his ass out today.
May 5th. Like, that's really close. That's less than a year.
So before January. So if you give everything to the defense by January, can they adequately prepare a case by May?
That gives you 4 or 5 months to review the amount of evidence. Like I said, the videos alone could take 2 months just to look at them every hour of every day for 2 months.
Thank you for
You
the
better
super
have
chat.
a great legal team behind you.
And that's for the current charges. If these charges are upgraded, if he's hit with charges related to minors, as some of the allegations in the civil suits have alleged, this whole case changes. The whole defense changes. I imagine that they can't go to trial in May so quickly. But with the current charges here, Brian, again, that part's interesting. That part's interesting, right? Because the government knows right now if they plan to issue a superseding indictment, right? So would they give any indication? I wouldn't think this.
This person says that they heard that Cassie leaked the
I can't
tapes.
tell you why,
Mm.
but I think that something's going to happen
We'll
in the
find
next
out.
month or so. They can't say that, right?
Yeah, they don't usually, and I don't think they would here, certainly. I had been expecting a superseding indictment in this case from the minute I first read the indictment. I was stunned that there were no other defendants. I was stunned that there weren't any charges relative to minors. But TBD, if there is no change, meaning if there is no superseding indictment, the defense will get what they want. I just don't know at the end of the day if that's what they're going to want. You want time to prepare. You want time to go through everything. As Ava has said, it would be a Herculean task to go through all this stuff and to find the stuff you're looking for. And things change, I will tell you. January will come and we'll see some new developments, and that April or May trial date may quickly move if there's additional evidence that's provided, if there's a change in circumstances. But it's pretty clear they want to try the case now because he's in jail. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you said, if that changes,
and I think
What does that mean? What does that mean?
This is what I think. Okay, they saying here, let's have it as soon as possible. We can defend the whole thing in a week. It's their way of saying, hey, we are very confident that he's innocent, which later that they just posturing, just throwing it out there for right now. And then January, February, like the man just said, then they'll start asking for extensions. But they trying to act like they for sure know that he's innocent. Let's release him today. And
got you. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Still think he's not getting released today, Perry?
Well, no, I don't know. It's like they're still feeling like that, like shit. It's just something in the air that I think that man might get a house arrest or whatever, home detention or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, let's keep listening.
From Jane
My
on
opinion.
YouTube. How is the court going to select a jury, given the fact that most people in the world know of him?
That is the question of the hour that everybody is asking. I think one of the issues here is he is one of the most famous hip hop artists of all time. So how are you going to get a jury that's fair and impartial that hasn't heard about the Diddy case? I don't know. I think that it's going to come down to the jury questioning when they get the jury there, doing the voir dire and asking the question of, can you be fair and impartial? The test isn't whether or not anybody's heard of the case.
Right.
I'm sure everyone probably has, but whether or not you can set it.
Bonji, we're told that they're going to decide bail today, but Law and Order said that they heard that they weren't going to address the issue of bond today. So we're all waiting. But what I like about this one is that they are giving updates from the courtroom, even though Harry's getting them too.
Sandra Ventura, everybody saw that video. And that is going to be very hard to forget. That'll be very hard to put away. Now, the defense says, Brian, I'm curious. They say you're looking at this video. You are saying it's evidence of her escaping a freak off. This was a couple that had a very tumultuous relationship. They both abused drugs. This was a domestic spat. This was an incident of domestic violence, but it's not evidence of a sex trafficking. It's not evidence of a criminal enterprise. What do you make of that?
Yeah, one of the motions you're going to see here is to exclude that video for that very reason, that it has nothing to do with the crimes charged. This was no different from him getting into a fist fight on the street or a fight with someone in his own family. It was domestic violence. It had nothing to do with the crimes charged. And quite frankly, they may have a legitimate leg to stand on here. It is so prejudicial that there's going to have to be significant probative value for it to come into evidence in this case. And they will monumentally move heaven and earth to try and keep that evidence out, I can assure you.
Going back to an update, so the government still talking about discovery, the material in this case, that it's going to take some time and specific tools to extract all of the data. Some devices were damaged. What does that process contain? What does that process entail, I should say, Ava? When you get a voluminous amount of material, email accounts, cell phones, laptops, video surveillance footage, electronic data, how does the government work on extracting that information? Who do they work with?
You're going to have a team of
You just said some of the electronic devices are damaged. So
It's going to take a while.
but I still think they have enough.
Brian, question for you. This is from Daniela 3984 on YouTube. Is it possible for Cassandra Ventura, to testify against Combs, even though they settled outside of court? And just to let everybody know, she filed her lawsuit in November of 2023, settled with him the day after for an undisclosed amount, for undisclosed details. What is your take on that? Can she testify?
Sure, she could be compelled to testify by the prosecution. I mean, that was a civil agreement, and it certainly has legitimacy within the civil courts. But this is a criminal prosecution. They'll issue a subpoena order. They'll compel her to testify. Period.
Another follow-up question for you, Brian. This is from Ashley Glass on YouTube. How many times does he get to appeal for bail? So just to let everybody know, first, there was a magistrate judge who denied bail. Then a district court judge denied bail. Now he's taking it up to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. If the Second Circuit Court of Appeals denies it, where can he appeal it next, and how many times can he keep appealing it?
It's over. Okay. I've never seen an appeal beyond the circuit court go anywhere. The next place to go is to the United States Supreme Court, and they're not taking on any kind of a bail motion. So this will be it. The circuit court will rule, and whatever that ruling is, that will be your answer.
So there you have it, guys. No more chances for bail. Today is the final one.
Well, no.
Because he said if they take it to the higher court, the Supreme Court, they're not going to look. Go ahead, Perry.
Well, no, I was saying today is not the final one because people are saying that this could just be a hearing on some other things that's going on with the case. He have filed for the other appeal with the second court or whatever it is, right? Now, if that don't work, then he's basically saying that's it. So today, it may not
even do it today.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I've never seen nobody take bail this serious, this far. I really haven't. Let's keep listening.
For the application that he should be granted pretrial release. As I mentioned, what he would say is a very attractive bail package. Throughout his appeal, he said that a lot of these conversations, he wasn't obstructing justice. He was, first of all, they said that him denying the civil lawsuits, that can't be a form of obstruction of justice. He was not.
Also, Perry, what you're saying is they reassigned it for another day. Bail.
Well, yeah,
Is there?
it was like two different things. Like he went and filed this appeal before this hearing, but I think they were setting it up so they could ask for it today. If not, they already got it filed to go to the next step.
Gotcha.
That's just my opinion.
Does the
That's good lawyering. These are good lawyers.
Right.
I think the bigger
And he ain't
question
going
is,
nowhere.
how can you ensure that the person with all the money and all the power in the world is going to show up to court? So their bail package, yeah, it's a good bail package, but like they said, he'll surrender his passport. We don't know if he has other passports. There are countries where you could go and pay $200,000, become a citizen, get another passport.
Why didn't he do it in the past few months? He could have done it. He didn't do it. He surrendered his passport even before he had to.
Maybe he believed that it wasn't as bad as it is right now.
Here's a question for you, Brian, as we wait for more updates from the court. This is from Alicia Fall. Why haven't there been charges brought towards Diddy's employees and other artists?
Yeah, well, the only way you could bring other charges if they were part of a conspiracy, if they took any actions, any criminal actions on the part of the conspiracy. So whether there were other artists involved, whether there were other employees involved, they would have to engage in criminal conduct. I am stunned that nobody in his, what I'll call inner circle, who are supposed to have made some of these threats, who are carried out some of these threats, have not been charged as accomplices. That's the one thing that has stunned me so far in terms of the brevity of this indictment, why it is just him.
By the way, they said the same thing in the Epstein case, right? If this is a giant,
I'm surprised that there's not other people part of the enterprise that aren't being sued either. They are not discussing bail today. Defense have applied to Circuit Appeal Court. We'll find out another day if they allow it. No more tries after that. That's exactly what you just said, Perry.
Right.
Thank you, Sussex. How come they're not going after KK? Why aren't they going after?
Maybe not now. Maybe they're posturing and waiting for them to think, shit, anytime I better hurry up. Maybe they are talking to people. Maybe
that's what they did. That's what they did to Elon Maxwell. That's what happened to Elon Maxwell. She didn't get arrested until after Jeffrey unalived himself.
And they still giving them a chance. I mean, the people around them see Diddy in jail. They're giving them time to just sit there and think about it. Should I go before they start putting charges on other people? And they still got to have direct evidence, something to charge these people.
Hold on, let me hear. That's old. No, go ahead. Keep going.
Oh yeah, no. So I'm thinking it's just a waiting game. Other people will get charged just to make them testify.
This is the question from Malel33. If BuzzFeed knows things, meaning crimes, could we expect the feds to inquire about those settlements he's doing?
Yeah, I think everything's fair game.
Now, he was asked about that. He was asked, about the connectivity between him and the federal government, and he really didn't say. Like, he either didn't know or he didn't say.
And we may not know. I think even if there is a conversation, it's probably not going to be disclosed to the public.
Brian, before I go to you, Brian, about that one, because I'm curious your take on it. A couple of updates. Prosecutor AUSA Johnson, from the airport, 9 devices were seized. From Miami, 36 devices were seized. 29 have been extracted. 17 will be produced in our next production. In LA, 51 were seized. 27 will be produced in our next production. Also, Combs' phone from his arrest in September will also be extracted. Some people would say that seems like really dry, boring news. I will tell you, we have been speculating for months before the arrest and indictment. What did they take? What are they looking at? I think this is a gold mine. We still don't know what they're finding on it or what they will find on it, but I think that's interesting. Now, another update. The Prosecutor Johnson, said that the subpoena returns, we are putting them in a relativity database. Oh, I remember that one. You remember when I was a litigator, I remember
a
that.
lot of
Explain to our audience really
devices.
what that is real quick.
It's an online database where you store lots of information, and then you have someone go in and code it and check to see if something's responsive or not.
Yeah, I had to do
It's
doc review
terrible,
for like a
absolutely
month. It
terrible.
was the worst thing. You literally go and check. Okay. Anyway, all right. So they also say, and the judge asked, what about Brady material? Johnson, the prosecutor, says the defense sent us a Brady request. The judge said, at the next conference, I will ask about your progress. The prosecutor said, our investigation continues. Further on, he says, we have a subpoena out to Combs Global. We were reviewing all of the material for privilege. Our filter team, removed some material before the case team can see it. And then the judge said, for motions, I'll give the defense until February 17th or before we are here. And then they next have a next discovery conference on December 18th at 2 p.m. And now they're going to turn to a defendant's motion. I'll get to that in a second. So, Brian, a lot about discovery here. Some
Wow.
timetables
Did
for
you
it,
hear
as you
that,
said. What do you think?
Perry? All the evidence they got in discovery? 51
that's
tapes alone just in the LA house. Why is
Yeah.
he keeping these? Like, this is a lot of
Well, I mean, but that could
information.
be a business, right? Like if you using people for protection, bribery money, right? Like
Mhm.
it's a good off business. Maybe not the most moral thing to do, right? But you know, some people go back and fantasize off the tapes that they don't film. Some of them use it for blackmail, right? No, I mean,
It looks
they have rumors that he don't even be at the house when the thing's going on, and he's on his phone watching it live through his videotapes, breathing hard.
come on, Perry. Let's hear what he's saying. They're getting ready to have a press conference. I see them setting up. This is crazy.
For a gag order. It says that the concern is that the agents have been leaking grand jury information and making other prejudicial statements. Ava, this is what we anticipated, that they were going to bring that up. What do you make of it?
Absolutely. Right now, it's all speculation that they're making regarding the gag order, and I won't be surprised if the prosecutors also request a gag order against Sean Diddy Combs in order to prevent him from talking to victims.
Brian, turn it over to you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's something that the prosecution requests, gag orders for the defense. And I understand why Mark's doing it. It's the right move. This is a case where they do not want their jury pool exposed to any more comments, any more statements, or any more videos that may be at the disposal of the federal government or whomever turned it over. So, smart move by the defense. I would expect the government to say, sure, we're all in.
Well, Ava, this is the government's response. The government says, this is a live update, is saying, they say the defense is trying to exclude a damning piece of evidence. This is, I believe, regarding the video, the 2016 video. The press statements, they are not from the prosecution team. The government says that it is significant that that's the case. The government is requesting the judge defer any ruling until they get the papers. Thoughts?
Right. And the prosecutors asked for 3 weeks to be able to put together their papers. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's an evidentiary hearing that comes out of this. I mean, they're saying he's not going to have his Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial. And that's something judges take very seriously.
Chet, big question for you. This is from Pixie on YouTube. How much time is Sean Combs looking at if he's convicted of all the charges?
I'll send it to you.
Well, I think it's I think it's life in prison, if I'm correct. I mean, we're looking at 15 years to life in prison. The racketeering charge could be 20 years. Brian, am I wrong about that? I mean, minimum 15
Yeah, I mean, somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20, I would think would be a guideline kind of area that he could expect with these kind of charges. So, yeah.
What about life in prison?
This isn't a life case. I can't even fathom that there might even be a possibility that this would be a life case.
Another question. This is from Helena Chavez Adams. Are the sons being looked at? Are the sons being looked into being involved? Now, we know that Justin Combs has been mentioned in the lawsuit. We know Christian Combs is facing his own sexual assault lawsuit. They haven't been charged. They are with their father in court. What do you think? Their role that they may play in this criminal case?
Well, we know that the prosecutor sent out, they said in one of their correspondence, 300 subpoenas, 100 have been turned back. So there may be evidence somewhere in there that the sons are being looked at. But I think right now we're just waiting to see how it all unfolds.
Brian, this is a question that has been a common theme in the sidebars that I've done. This is from Dana Gilson on YouTube. At what point are people able to be legally responsible for not reporting a criminal act that they witness or suspect? Will hotel employees?
So I want to reiterate what the attorney said. He doesn't see him looking at a life sentence.
When we talk about
So I wanted to
whether
make
or
sure
not
you guys heard that.
full-time celebrities who
I
maybe
heard
were
that
at
part
the
too.
parties
And
and
like I
noticed
said,
that the grass
15,
was
they
cut
said
off,
maybe
they noticed
15 to
something,
20 years
even if they didn't
because
engage
they
15 to
don't
20
have
years.
those
in criminal behavior.
M
If they
cases
saw
that
it and didn't
people saying
report
that should be
could they be legally
reopened.
responsible?
Right.
You
I
know,
don't think there are any
but
charges that could
Yeah.
emanate
based
in
off
a,
this
in
stuff,
a
but
federal proceeding
even
for
15 years
simply
to 20,
witnessing a crime
Cuba
and not
looked very
stopping
good.
or not law enforcement.
That's what I'm
Now,
saying.
take an active role in covering it up, take an active role in participating, or on a whole different level of conversation. But I think the answer to that question, at least in every case I've ever been involved in, is no.
Okay, now we have another update from court. The judge has said the order would prohibit any further leaking of information to the media. It would be furnished to DHS agents. So it seems to be entertaining the idea of a gag order. The government responded, we have no problem. Affirm our obligation not to speak to the press. We object to an order about future leaks. If so, should be reciprocal, right? So it goes both ways. How would that work in terms of if there is a gag order? Would we all just be scouring legal filings to get more information about this case? I imagine his attorneys wouldn't do any press. There would be no more press conferences. What would that look like, a gag order that would really seal information about this?
It really just depends on what is in the gag order and to what extent. If it is that neither side can talk to the press, then yeah, I think we're going to be waiting at the edge of our seats till the next court update and be listening attentively at what happens at each court appearance.
Brian, going back to you, this is something that you reiterated before, but I think it's important to mention once more. Bree Alexis on YouTube asks, at what point will we know if other defendants become part of this indictment?
Yeah, I mean, there's no easy answer to that. I would think it would be quick, meaning I think within the next couple of months, if there's going to be a superseding indictment, and that's really what the question is asking about, whether there'll be additional charges and or additional defendants, I think you're going to see it within the next 60 days. I'd be stunned if the prosecution didn't move quickly if they have it. The only problem is going to be, what if they develop evidence in February? Now, what if somebody comes forward in February, they find something in February? You know, it's an ongoing investigation. There's civil litigation here. And sometimes the feds really don't know what some of these civil practitioners have in terms of evidence and what they've developed. What if they get that 2 months from now or 3 months from now? What if there's an objection to it and they can't get to it? That would be the only way I would think you'd see a superseding indictment after the new year.
And that means that trial ain't happening in April or May, right?
No way.
No way.
No way.
Okay, I have a question for you, Ava. Update. Judge says, draft an order, maybe see what a gag order would look like. Open the floor for objections. The government said, we have concerns about Mr. Agnafilo's statement. Again, this is the defense attorney, Mark Agnafilo. We have concerns about Mr. Agnafilo's statement. He basically accused the government of engaging in a racist prosecution. So the government's taking offense to the allegations put forward by Combs' defense team.
As they should. I mean, the defense team is essentially saying that they leaked the.
Wow, now they're saying that the feds leaked information, and by the way, they're racist.
Yeah.
A lot. But that's what a good attorney's supposed to do. Every angle that you think can help your client. So,
Right.
hey, OJ tried it. It worked for OJ. Wow, this is ridiculous.
So, you know, look, I that's not a legal argument, though, right? If this goes to trial, can his defense team say this is a racist prosecution? Can they make that argument?
I think that they could make whatever argument they need to advance. And as we saw, they could, you know, say, well, look at the video. They leaked it, whatever they're going to bring. I think the key for them here is they're just trying to take the spotlight away from the alleged activity that Combs was involved in and paint him to be the victim here.
So, Brian, look, you have represented some high-profile people, right? We've talked about the participation in your involvement in representing Bill Cosby. When you are representing a very high-profile individual, let's say a Sean Combs, what does that look like? What are the difficulties of representing somebody like him?
The biggest difficulties I always found is trying to write the narrative in the media. You've received an avalanche of adverse publicity, and you're going to take it upon yourself to overcome that. It doesn't work. And that's why I think the defense is smart to ask for a gag order here. They're not going to get favorable publicity no matter how hard they try. That's one of the problems. The other problem with celebrities, I will tell you, is, and it's just some of them, not all of them, but they have their own camps and they have their own professionals that surround them. And sometimes these folks think they're trial lawyers when they're not. And so, what Mr. Combs ought to be doing is taking his advice from his dream team, which he's going to be paying a lot of money for, and which are all excellent lawyers, and not some of the people that like to chirp in their ears. That always is a bit of a problem. They're very wealthy folks. They're very brilliant folks, but they're not lawyers, and they ought to trust their lawyers. That would be the one thing that that you'll have to overcome as a lawyer in this case.
Brian, if I may, I have to ask you, do you think his lawyers advised him to put out that apology video on Instagram after the release of the 2016
Thank you, Violet.
beating Cassandra Ventura? Or do you think that was him going rogue and ultimately saying, I'm going to put this out?
Rogue for a while. I'm convinced his lawyers told him to do that. Listen, it was devastating. Yeah. What are you going to say about it? You can't spin it. So apologize for it and say, yeah, I did that. I'm not a great guy, but I didn't do what they've accused me of. I'm not that guy.
Yeah. The problem is
Absolutely.
He admitted to a crime, and when he knew he was under investigation.
It was a crime. That was one of those things, and I know what you're saying, but it's like, don't believe your lying eyes. So you can't run from that. So embrace it. I made a mistake. I'm human. I apologize for it. People want to hear that. They don't want to hear some negative, ridiculous spin. I think it was the smart move, and I would have done it.
All right. Well, look, it's definitely a point of conversation, and it helps his defense. He didn't say he apologized, but didn't reveal too much. If he's going to go forward with the argument that this was a bad domestic spat and not an example of sex trafficking, not an example of a freak off, he could use that video and say, I'm apologizing for what happened between me and her. But
yes, no bail today. No bail today. But they're getting ready to have a press conference, and they're wrapping it up in the courtroom. So
courthouse, there are
until next 10 minutes.
To provide you updates as they come in. We have these live updates coming in, but we are also taking your questions on YouTube. So if you have a question about the Sean Combs case, if you have a question about what's happening in today's hearing, submit it on YouTube. We'll read it on the air. I do have a little update for you, Ava. So the judge said any application under the Speedy Trial Act, the government responded, we move to exclude time under the act. It's already told by the motion. The judge said, I exclude time until December 18th. I have no application for bail before me. What does that mean?
Well, under the Speedy Trial Act, he has a right to go to trial within 90 days. What can happen is there's certain situations where you would exclude, so certain time wouldn't count against the government. As here, it could be a few weeks, it could be a month, and that way it still gives them more time.
Now, the judge concluded this hearing. So that's right. The hearing is concluded. We're going to have Elizabeth Milner coming out right now, and we're going to do some follow-up questions with her. But basically, the judge said, so Mr. Combs will remain detained. Let me ask you this, Brian, as we wait for Elizabeth to come out of the courthouse.
There you have it, people. No bail. He will remain detained.
Yeah.
Thoughts real quick, Perry, before they come out?
I mean, that feeling I had in the air just went away. I tell you that.
No bail, y'all. No bail. Good.
Yeah.
In that case, I mean, they just filed their brief in support of their brief saying he should be granted pretrial release. When will the court make a decision?
I think it's going to be real quick. For a high-profile appeal like this, I think they'll move quickly. You'll probably see something within the next 2 weeks.
And Ava, the thing about it is, he's someone like him, and I remember his attorney said this. Obviously, there's terrible conditions within that detention center, the Metropolitan Detention Center, but also said that he might be a target because of his high-profile status. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. We saw that with the R. Kelly case. One of the things his attorney said when they were trying to get him to get bail was, look, he was a target and he did get beaten up, and the guy who beat him up wanted publicity for his own case. Definitely. P. Diddy, he could very likely be a target in prison.
Brian, something you mentioned, it just struck me as we're talking about, because one of the big things that's came out of this hearing is, could we potentially see a trial in the spring of 2025, much sooner than I think a lot of us had anticipated? If the defense starts getting all this material, and I believe they already received on October 7th their first batch of material, if they start to see something and they say, wow, the evidence is a lot worse than we thought, do you think they're going to say, you know what, we need a little bit more time?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they can ask for more time anytime they want. I think what this judge is going to basically tell them is, once you've gotten discovery, don't wait around. You've now made the aggressive decision to ask for a trial in May. You didn't have to do that. You could have had a designated complex, and we could have set it for 2025, the December of 2025, anytime you wanted. So since they asked for it, if they're going to.
Okay, for those of you that are just coming in, no bail today. They want the trial of May 5th, and they want the trial to only last 3 weeks. Oof, child. Tons of discovery evidence, 51 tapes just in the LA home alone, 36 in the Miami home, an additional 29, and then 9 other devices. Lots going on.
And basically they're saying that with that appeal that he had filed for his bail to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, they, well, according to Law and Crime, that basically that might happen between a week or 2 weeks.
Okay. Oh,
We'll see.
wow. Wow. Okay. No bail. He's not getting bail. Let's go back and hear what they're saying. Now they're should be wrapping this up, and we're waiting for the press conference. There's going to be a press conference. Let's keep hearing.
So do you think maybe this was just always New York based and this is where it's going to be?
There may have been a conversation, and New York may have decided we're going to go forward with it.
Yeah. All right. Question for you, Brian. This is from Famous Joker of YouTube. Do you think it's only Combs, or is there one person in the background, someone with more power? So I actually like this question. I'll tell you why. I am convinced, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I am convinced. Everybody says, oh, Sean Combs is going to spill the beans. He's going to turn on people more powerful than him, the people controlling the strings, in order to get a better deal. I don't think that's possible, because he would have to agree to significant prison time as part of a deal. And I don't think he's going to want to do that whatsoever. You could disagree with me about that. But I guess also the question is, who would he provide information on? Who is bigger than him?
Yeah, I get the question from Famous Joker, but I really think that you're looking at the guy. That's the tip of the iceberg. I think there is an iceberg, but I'm not so sure that there's anybody above him that the feds are too interested in. This was his party, and they want him to pay for it.
And I would say you don't even need him, right, Ava? You don't even need, if so much of this is documented on videos and text messages and witness accounts, do you even need the testimony of Sean Combs? Now, of course, I would imagine taking a deal is optimal. You can save the pain of having these witnesses testify and talk about what happened to them, the expense, the time of a trial. But I also think you don't even need him as a cooperating witness, right? They want to prosecute him.
Right. And I think in his trial, he's probably not going to want to say a word.
Yeah. So again, let me also tell you, by the way, that brings me to another point. So Elizabeth Milner is coming out. We're going to have her on as soon as she can. We'll talk more about what she observed in the courtroom. What are the main takeaways from today, where we see this trial going, where we see this case going. Ava raised an interesting question, Brian. Do you think that Sean Combs, and his attorney said he wants to do it, you think Sean Combs would take the stand in his own defense?
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, that's usually not the rule. It's usually not the game plan. But when you're dealing with a case like this, where there has to be some questions answered, sometimes the best person, to answer them is the defendant himself. He's eloquent. He's smart. He gets it. This might be one of those cases where you do that, particularly if some of the evidence has to be explained. We talked about the video. I mean, you got to explain that video. Otherwise, you're just a vicious, bad guy. There may be text messages he has to explain. There may be video evidence that we haven't seen that has to be explained. Who's going to explain it? They said that it's going to take a week to try it. Well, there's 8 hours in a court day. That's a lot of witnesses for 1 week. I want to know who these witnesses are, and if Sean Combs isn't among them, it would be the norm, but it might not be what this case takes from the defense perspective.
That's a good point. So if you take their argument is true that this would take 1 week to defend, what kind of witnesses would they call? Who would they call? Would they call, I mean, other than cross-examining the state's alleged victims and trying to point to the fact that this was consensual behavior, they call male sex workers? I think so. I think they would call male sex workers to say that all of this was on the up and up and consensual, other than the fact.
Quincy was there. He dyed his hair blonde.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be where the rubber hits the road in this case. I mean, you're going to have to establish that all these people were paid for and came in willing and knowing and agreed to the conduct they engaged in. And they may be the most important witnesses in the case if the defense has them. So it'll be interesting to see. But a lot to be determined between now and then, a lot of decisions for the defense to make. I've seen people make that argument, and the defense case takes 1 day.
All right, Ava, I'm going to give you one more question before we have to hit a break. This is from Joe D. Lopart on YouTube. If the celebs that appear, knew, or participated in these crimes are identified, will they be under police persecution, arrest too?
I think it goes back to what was discussed earlier. It depends on what their participation was. Did they cover up evidence? Did they take an active role in things? Or were they just merely bystanders who saw things?
We shall see. But here's what I know. Ava Sullivan, thank you so much for coming on. Brian McMonagle, I know we have to sign you off too. Thank you both so much for coming on, breaking this down for us. Elizabeth Milner is going to come out of that courthouse. We're going to talk to her, find out what's been happening inside. Really appreciate you both coming on and your perspective. So thank you both. And everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. We'll take a quick break.
Wow, lots going to happen today. A lot happened. Someone said that it's usually in the defense best interest to ask for a speedy trial. So let me go over again. No bail today. They're asking for, and the judge granted, the trial to begin May 5th. They want the trial to only last 3 weeks. I don't get that. 51 tapes they got from LA, 36 from Miami, 29 from another source, and 9 devices. Some of the devices they said were damaged, but they've got more than enough evidence. I don't understand.
Or they should have enough. Yeah.
I don't understand the taping unless they were using it for blackmail. And even that is risky to keep around. I would keep maybe 1 or 2, but 51, 36, 29, I'm like, it's a lot. Let's see what they're talking about. There are no kids on the tapes, or Diddy wouldn't even need a trial. It would be case closed. These kind of crimes, XEX, like that, don't have a time statute and are criminal. Well, I don't think they do have any kids on these tapes that they're talking about. I think that came with what is his name? Busby. Busby is saying that. This doesn't mean that there are celebrity on these tapes. That's true. It could just be the women he dated with ex-workers, for all we know. We don't know what's on the tape. Also, they're accusing the feds of leaking the tapes. Go ahead, Perry.
Well, yeah, no, that's the whole thing. We don't know. Yeah, they can collect 100 videotapes, whatever. We don't know what was on the tapes. We can assume what was on the tape, speculate. We don't know what they got. We don't know who leaked the tape. So both sides are posturing, trying to do whatever and gain some evidence, right? But we don't know what they really got. But I definitely think they got something. And we know they found the weapons with no numbers on them. So they gonna get him on something. Now, what it is, I don't know. But as far as like people being having minors in, maybe that they're not on tape. Maybe it's just the other things. And I think people, when you say, well, is it strictly for blackmail? It could be for pleasure. It could be just to revisit, because some people, like mass Mers, sometimes keep photos. They keep certain things, articles. It's a sickness.
Mm, mm.
And he seemed to have this S fetish where you ain't even involved, but you just want to look at it happen.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very disturbed. He is.
When you got a whole control room monitoring every room, every angle, that's sort of out there.
Nancy says, who cares who leaked the tapes? That's just evidence that he did all that dirt. They are trying to keep us from talking about the real issues. The nasty A word towards the little boys. Let's talk about that. That's very, very serious.
Right.
But it was the defense that brought up that it was the Homeland Security that leaked the tapes. Now, is that true? I don't know. I'm assuming they have evidence, but sometimes lawyers throw everything against the wall just to see what sticks. But
Mhm.
if the feds did leak it, the feds wouldn't do anything, I don't think, to harm their case. I just don't see the feds leaking it. But I don't know.
Yeah. And they got a high success rate, so I don't really see it neither. Now, not saying they didn't do it, but I don't think they're gonna leave no room for you to use it against them.
Yeah. A person that's under any influence cannot legally consent to those activities. They can wake up the next day and say they were SA'd. Seeing it frequently during my time in the military. Well, that's true.
Mhm.
That's the big issue, is putting something in a bottle and people don't know that it's lace. That
Right.
alone can get you a lot of time. You can't do that to people. This is crazy.
Yep.
Federal government will never. I don't think they would leak their own tapes. They're the government with a high success rate. I don't think so. She went back to the hotel after the SA. She could have been given a copy. Yeah, well, that's true. Maybe it was Cassie that leaked it. We don't know. I'm assuming, since they are accusing the feds, Homeland Security, of doing this, that they have evidence. If they don't have any evidence and they're just saying that Homeland Security leaked the tapes, then they're not very good attorneys. And these two attorneys are the cream of the crop. So
And basically what they stand to like this, as far as the feds. Doing the grand jury, they saying that they could have leaked the Cassie tapes. They didn't use that to indict Diddy. It wasn't shown at the grand jury. So now it wasn't part of the case to indict him. So his attorney's coming to say, well, they set him up and used this. No, he got indicted on other reasons, other causes outside that tape. Now, could this tape just mysteriously pop up for people out there doubting, oh no, Diddy would never do that or whatever, to show the other side? But hell, that could have been anybody. It could have been Cassie herself. It could have been, I don't know who it was. It could have been anybody.
MJ says, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, finish.
Okay. MJ says, Cassie is behind a lot of this. She is no victim. Now, I've heard other people saying that Cassie is not a victim. And what I'm hoping that they're meaning by this is like, yeah, I'm sure there was times where it looked like she was having a good time, or there was times where she seemed okay with being with Diddy. But that's a part of the cycle of A. Because you have to ask yourself, MJ, who likes being HIT in the head? Nobody.
Right.
Well, we hear that she has PTSD. We hear that she suffers from mental loss, memory loss from all of the DURG. So it might look like Cassie was having a good time and she was a willing participant, but then there's the huge probability that she wasn't a willing participant, because that's what grooming means. Hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? All that stuff. Hi, Sheila. He had so many tapes because he never expected to be caught. I don't know why he had so many tapes. It's good to hear from you, Sheila. Oh, I got
Yeah,
another
I
one.
mean, we don't know why he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil neither.
Thank you, Positive Vibes, for becoming a member. He did have 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Hi, Valentine. Cassie is a victim. Daddy groomed her. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, just imagine if it was a child. You could say, well, the child enjoyed it. No. He was groomed. He didn't understand what was going on. Lied to a lot of times. It's a whole process. A whole process. Maybe hush money is the reason for the leaked tapes, and there is more to come. I feel like there's definitely more to come. I don't know why I feel that way. I feel like there's a lot more to come. Will they hurry up? I'm getting a little tired. Hello, Sharrell and Perry, Diddy, and whoever was with him and witness all should go to jail or hell. Well, Bugsby is saying they're going after people that aided and abetted. If you knew, if you watched, if they're going after those people. And I don't think they're going to go after the mom, but the mom is not innocent. I'll just put it that way. She's not innocent, but she's 83 years old.
83, 84.
Hold on. Let me turn this up. Hold on.
Bail pending criminal prosecution is mandatory. It's mandatory. You can't decide a person of bail. Because you have a right to be convicted before you can subject to the penalty of a crime. You can't have the punishment before the conviction. Due process mandate bail or release pending conviction.
He's saying,
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Identify yourself.
Listen, my name is Ari and I'm a paralegal. The United States Constitution mandates that no one is subjected to the penalties of a crime without a conviction. Therefore, it is mandatory that Mr. Combs be released pending a conviction. Also, to try to say that he may have tampered with witnesses, etc., there's no evidence that he did this subsequent to being charged. To try to say that he presents a flight risk and everything like that, there's no evidence that he ever sought to evade prosecution. It's called prevention. You can't do that. You can't say punish a person for something they might do. They can only punish a person for something they have done. So the law mandates that he be released pending his trial, and that any deprivation constitutes a fundamental deprivation or violation of.
Wow. Sounds like somebody was upset. They feel like he's being convicted before the trial.
Right.
I really need them to come on out now. I have a meeting in 45 minutes. I need them to hurry up. I did not think it would take this long. Let's see what he's saying.
Leaking material. Most importantly, I would say, is the discovery schedule, how much material there is in this case, when it's going to be turned over to the defense. And I will tell you, the idea that his defense team is looking for a May 2025 trial date, very ambitious, given how much material there is. So I want to bring in right now now I have two special guests as we wait, by the way, for Elizabeth Milner, our reporter who is inside that courthouse, to come out and give us the latest. I'm here with Law and Crime's legal counsel, our general counsel, Elizabeth Vulai, here with me on set, and acclaimed litigator Ben Chu, who knows a thing or two about representing high-profile individuals. He represented Johnny Depp in his infamous trial that we covered here on Law and Crime. Great to have you both here. Elizabeth, I'll start with you. First of all, there might be a presser. I have no idea who the guy was that just went on. We're trying to confirm that. But we're also, by the way, taking all of your questions on YouTube. So if you have any questions, make sure to throw them out here and we'll answer them on YouTube. And there's a bunch that came in. First thing I want to ask you, though, what do you think about the idea of a May 2025 trial date, given how
The man who just spoke said he was a paralegal. I don't know why they let him speak. So-
His attorneys are not sure if he'll be released on bail. One of his main attorneys had said, we don't want him detained here any longer than he has to be. So I think that played a big role in it. But it is surprising because this is a case with a lot of witnesses, a lot of evidence. So I think it's an ambitious goal.
Yeah. Ben, I want to go to you. We have some questions from our YouTubers. And the question was, and it wasn't discussed today, but the issue of bail. This issue is not going to be decided by this judge. It's now being appealed to a higher court, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. In fact, Sean Combs' defense team filed their papers on October 8th, so 2 days ago. They listed a number of reasons why they think he should be entitled to bail, that he shouldn't be detained pre-trial. The question that I have is from Sharon Denies on YouTube. When do we hear when and if he gets bail?
Thank you,
Jesse,
Lisa.
first, it's great to be with you again. I think the Second Circuit will act very quickly on this. This is obviously a high-profile case. Second Circuit acts with alacrity generally, so I would think that it would come down with the ruling fairly quickly.
I agree. I agree when you're dealing with this kind of issue. And it's so funny, Ben, because we were talking earlier, me and Brian McMonigal and Ava Sullivan,
God.
that
Perry,
right now he wants bail.
you're
Right now he
saying-
wants
I
to get
mean,
out of.
they're not good. He's keeping hope alive. That man is not going to get bail. If you had to guess, Perry, what do you think?
Like,
He's not getting bail.
I'm not sure. Like, I still go back and forth. I assume they would bring it up today, even though it was just a conference hearing. After they had done file for this appeal to the Second Circuit. But I don't know. And at least in
they're
2
the
weeks-
kids. They're the kids. Hold on.
Time, the more time he's out, obviously, he
coming out.
can enjoy that time, or at least enjoy it more than he would in jail. And the more time he has to find corroborating witnesses, these sex workers who presumably will testify that everything was on the up and up, to the extent that can be on the up and up. That
Thank
this
you,
was
informant.
voluntary. Time would be his friend once he's out on bail. That gives him a longer time to, memories also fade, which is good for him since it's going to be the prosecution that has.
I don't know what it is, but every time I see those kids, my heart breaks because they don't have a mother. And now most of them don't have a mother or a father. And Justin's mom, Misa, I don't know what's wrong with Misa. And Chance's mom, Sarah, she just is kind of quiet and stays in the background.
Yeah, I think your
she's
heart
killing
go
it
out like
already.
that because you have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine your kids walking out and you locked up? Shit.
Ugh. Well, that means that it's over. So we need this press conference to hurry up.
But
Hurry
Since
up.
the kids are gone.
2004, if I remember.
It should be
correctly.
coming though.
I think so.
But
they
even
let
if it
him out
was,
now.
sex trafficking and racketeering wouldn't be grounds to execute someone, even if he's convicted, right?
Correct. Even if he's convicted, there's no basis, at least within New York, to proceed with that. But as far as what could happen in other states, we don't know. This is somebody who had homes all across the U.S. We're not sure if investigations will start there, depending on where the conduct took place. But in New York, it would just be prison time if he's convicted.
So I have a question for you, Ben. There's been a very interesting legal update. Tony Busby, this Texas attorney, has announced that he is representing over 100 alleged victims of Sean Combs, that he plans to file over 120 lawsuits across the country. He has said that at least 25 of these alleged victims say that they were abused by Sean Combs when they were minors. I'll give you an opportunity to respond to how that's even going to look, how that would operate. But I'm also going to throw a second question to you. This is from NJ on YouTube. Are the victims, excuse me, this is from Janal Taylor on YouTube. Is there a possibility that he's going to be charged for the minors allegedly involved? So 2 questions. How do you even bring 120 lawsuits? And B, considering we're talking about that, is Sean Combs going to ultimately be charged with respect to minors?
Yeah, I might have to be reminded of the third question, but with respect to the 100 or 100 plus lawsuits, there's going to be a threshold issue. If I were representing Diddy, I would move to stay those cases pending the criminal trial. That happens a lot in certain states, such as California. If you have simultaneous civil and criminal cases arising out of the same conduct, it can be.
Ben, stand by. I want to get your answer on this, but I think we are hearing right now from Anthony Rico, who is one of Sean Combs' attorneys, but I could be wrong. Let's go back. This is live.
This is a serious proceeding with serious consequences, and all of us are addressing it accordingly.
Anthony, is it a racist proceeding, as Marcus said?
Nobody's okay with staying in jail for now. Okay, thank you very much. That's it for today.
Continue to believe that?
Okay, so we really couldn't get much from that. But I mean, Ben, it seemed that last point was nobody's happy being in jail, which again seemed to be the motivation for maybe why they want a quick trial date. I want to go back to what you were saying, though. We were talking about how this Texas attorney would bring over 120 lawsuits and whether or not Sean Combs could ultimately be charged with respect to abusing minors.
Yeah, certainly. And that adds another extraordinarily disturbing aspect to this. I mean, before today, a lot of legal commentators were saying that this is what distinguishes his case with R. Kelly, that as awful as these allegations against Diddy are, and they are, until today, I don't believe there was any suggestion that any of the alleged victims were minors. Now, if these allegations, bear fruit, then yeah, they absolutely can be the subject of criminal allegations. In fact, I believe that's how it worked in this case, that prior to the indictment of Diddy, there were the civil cases. And of course, the release of the Cassie Ventura video. So civil cases can precede criminal cases. And that is another disturbing front for Diddy and his.
Perry, if they don't finish this damn press conference, I'm going to have to go because I have that 1 o'clock meeting. And then you have to just do it. Is that okay?
Yeah. They're going to finish by then.
One thing.
It's taking them so long.
Allegations in the civil law.
I'm going to have to assume it.
I mean, some of the people who have sued him
I'm
said
gonna
that
have to
they
get
were
a press
sexually
conference.
abused when they were underage. But the idea of 25 minors, a 9-year-old being abused, haven't heard anything like that until Tony Busby brought it up. But, even Lil Rod Jones, who filed the lawsuit against Sean Combs, insinuated that he was tasked with soliciting minors for these parties, or that was part of this case. One thing I want to just follow up on with you, is there a chance? You said that the petition to pause the civil case is pending the criminal trial. If Sean Combs is acquitted, what happens to the civil trial, the civil cases? Do people say, they could still file the lawsuit, but if he's acquitted by a jury, and yes, you're dealing with different standards of law, does it make them less likely to continue their lawsuits against him?
I think the cases, I can't see Busby just folding the tent and going home. I mean, it would depend in part about what happened in the criminal trial. I mean, if there were some kind of vindication, then yes, I think that would be very difficult for the criminal. But, we saw in the Michael Jackson case, of course, where there was an acquittal followed by civil liability, and O.J. Simpson. I mean, I think there's ample precedent for winning the criminal case and yet being held for civil liability. So I wouldn't think that he would be so faint of heart as to give up. And I don't think his clients would want to either.
Yeah, that's a good point. Elizabeth, we have a question from NJ on YouTube. Are the victims being protected from Diddy's people? And clearly it's a fair question in the sense that, assuming they are really victims, they're not of Sean Combs. We know that his danger to the public, his danger to the victims, the witnesses, was a key factor in him being denied bail. So do you think there's some mechanism being put forward where they are being protected?
Hopefully, yes. Just by the sheer nature of him being detained, if all of these allegations turn out to be true, they get protection in that sense, and that he's not free to potentially cause harm to other people. But I think one of the things to also keep in mind is a report that I saw this week about how there's still fear among the community of people speaking out about this, because even though he's detained in prison, he still has associates, friends, people who have a lot of power in a similar position to him. So we can't say how much they're protecting the victims.
That's fair. And I have another question for you. This is from Morehouse on YouTube. If a person is arrested and the investigation is still ongoing, but a defendant has the right to a speedy trial, is that right in any way hindered by a lengthy, ongoing investigation like this? And I guess the way to think about it is, and we were talking about it before, he wants to go to trial in May without even seeing all of the evidence. We don't know if he's going to be hit with additional charges. So what do you make of that?
Yeah, that's why I think it's such a bit of a risk for his attorneys to ask for that. Again, one of the reasons is they don't want him detained as short as possible. They want him detained, obviously. Whether
Harry, isn't it weird that Busby just came out and said he's allowing people to buy the tapes back?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold back my opinion on this whole thing. Like I said,
Okay.
I think. Well, no, I'm not. I think some victim. I mean, obviously, in this whole case, there are true victims. It's some people who just going for the ride, try to get attention or money. I think it's some attorneys that's just trying to get their name out there
Harry,
and stuff.
Busby's the #1 trial attorney in America. You're calling him a scam, a con artist?
I didn't put it on no particular person. I'm not gonna come on and just throw shit out like that. I'm just saying a lot of people are just coming out with all these allegations, and I'm not sure if nobody's selling no tapes. Has there been a case yet? I haven't seen a filing yet. Just saying. And
Well,
not
supposedly a couple people already settled with the.
I get that, right? But a settlement, they settle. Maybe somebody just don't want to deal with it. I don't know. But what I'm saying is everybody's out here pinching off this thing.
Right. I see what you're saying. You're saying not everybody is a victim. Some people are pretending to be victims for the cash, like that girl, Drea England.
And then I say some people would claim to have victims for attention, for a possible. You remember that? What was that black guy that represented Lil Rod?
Tyrone Blackburn.
Tyrone Blackburn or something like that. I'm just saying. It's things. It's people like that out there too.
Let's hear what else they're saying. What is taking so long?
Yeah,
My
people
goodness.
just still out there.
Isn't that baby oil?
This is taking a long time.
Oil is going to be tested, Ben.
They showing
If it
people
hasn't been tested before,
No.
I'm on 2 networks.
Okay.
No.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna miss it.
No, I got you.
I still got 20 minutes, so let's see. Taking a long time.
That in the indictment, they also did reference the possibility of people being under the influence of narcotics. So I think anything that they can get their hands on to obtain any sort of physical evidence, I wouldn't put it past them. Why not?
Because some people were shocked at how inebriated they were and how intoxicated they were. It's a fair question. It's a good question. All right. I have a civil law question for you. I have a litigation question for you, Ben. This is from Stephanie Pazman.
Let's just listen to
Why is
some.
Tony
Let's take questions from our audience.
Yeah.
They're just taking questions too. Some attorneys might not even work with anyone, but just says it.
Thank you.
That's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Cali Nova, true. But the way I'm in the NOLA area, the West Bank to be exact. Hold on. All right. All right, let's keep going. Jack said that Diddy was selling the tapes on the dark web because he needs money. The dark web's trying to sell to people in it. That's why they buy back. Well, but the attorney came out. I believe that, Cooking Channel, but I don't know. Busby, he's supposed to be the #1 trial lawyer in the United States. That's just
Okay.
something's
I don't
not
care how
right.
good. I don't care how good of an attorney you are. If you
Mhm.
bring in a client and that don't have a case, more than likely you ain't gonna win that case. You can get a lot of people who go and file a lawsuit, but it don't mean they even have evidence. And just to say,
Yeah.
if you post up, if you, it's like almost like a class action suit or something. And I know that they don't call it that, but a lot of people come in. Well, hey, if these people getting money, I'm gonna jump in on it. I think Diddy did a lot of things, just in my opinion. But for all these, some attorneys to have all these clients, we haven't seen evidence. Anything can be charged against you, but you got to have some kind of proof. And not saying that, I mean, maybe these people could just go to him and saying they got a case and he got to investigate it. But just like we seen the one girl just get dismissed by her attorneys when they find out they ain't really got a case, it could be a lot of that going on.
Alpha says, anybody here thinks Diddy did something to Kim Porter? I think everybody here thinks he did something to Kim Porter.
Right.
I mean, and not just Kim Porter, the medical examiner. Okay, like he passed away at a really suspicious time.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Carisha should be indicted. Carisha will get indicted. I firmly believe. KK, Carisha, and Frankie Santella, they're going to get indicted, in my opinion. Right, Perry? People make allegations like they're facts. If they really have proof of him and the tapes with the kids, he is done. No trials needed. None needed. None.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy touched our. Oh my God, Kevin! You know I can't say that, Kevin. Why would you put that up there? Oh my God. Y'all are messy. Lord, what if all the ish come rolling out that Diddy is a serial killer? What do you call Diddy? I mean, Biggie, Tupac, Kim, the medical examiner. That's very well what they could call him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of people that we know of. 50 Cent said that there are others that we don't know about that he's going to expose in his documentary. In my opinion, when Cassie filed her lawsuit, she had to file a police report, and that tape was submitted as evidence. That could be true. Someone in that police department may have released the tape, not the feds. I think they got to get to the bottom of who released that tape. They've got to get to the bottom.
You know what, though? Really, at the end of the day, does it really matter who released the tape?
No.
Okay, I'm only just saying.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. It matters.
If that's not what he's getting charged with today.
Oh, okay.
His indictment don't include that. It's other things.
Well, that's true.
Now, people can look at the tape as a reference to show some history or background on him, but I mean,
Someone says,
I think like Justin Bieber. I mean, I don't know. It's just so much stuff coming out. So, go ahead.
He says, I think the tape got leaked because there was hush money involved. The exact same thing happened to Vince McMahon. What happened to Vince McMahon, Perry?
Well, I mean, he was a Diddy too.
Vince McMahon?
Yeah,
the wrestler?
Right. Like really bad stuff. But, like.
Vince McMahon? The one with the funny looking face?
Yeah, to a lot of people. And then if you look at hosts, you want to win that match on Monday? You want to become the new champion? Well, I tell you what, come back here. Let me talk to you for a second.
Vince McMahon? Perry. Oh my God, I didn't hear about this. Wow.
No.
Wow.
It shocked me when I said, damn. Like he was out there though. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. Just wow. They're not even talking. They cut the sound down. So there you have it. I am diddied out today, guys. I am diddy out. We had a whole show planned for you this afternoon. I doubt that I'll go on today. I doubt it, unless the stuff we're
It's gonna
talking
have to
about
be
is
some
just
damn breaking news because it's Thursday night football too. So if we go on, we got to just do it like maybe an hour. I mean, when you start talking like that, my lips start shaking.
No, I can't go on today. I have other stuff to do. I have other stuff to
I
do,
know.
and the information that we were going to talk about today can be carried over tomorrow because
Yeah, 'cause
this is a lot. I just want to see. Let me check the other channel. Hold on. Nobody's out there either. Well, Perry, I'm going to let you make the call because we still have a half hour, but it's taking them a
yeah.
long time. The attorneys, what are they doing?
Well, shit, I don't know. Just wrapping things up, but the other people left, so I don't know. Let's give it another 5-10 minutes and see.
Okay.
I mean, we don't roll this far, and everybody's here to watch it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Wow, lots happened today. A lot happened today. Let me go over my list. Asking for a trial for May 5th. Wants the trial to be 3 weeks. That's really insane. 51 tapes from the LA home, 36 from Miami, 9 devices, and 29 other electronics. I don't know what else that could mean.
and Sheree, let me say this real quick too. And I don't normally ask it. People, this is totally free. If you like the video, just take a moment, just slide back out to your YouTube page and give the video a like.
Oh.
You know, it'd be much appreciative. Go ahead.
I'm debating. I guess we can hang on 10 minutes. Then after that, I'm
Yeah.
gonna wrap it up, or you could stay, or you could go and then come back live if they say anything
Okay.
live, because this
I
has
hear you.
been hours.
Yeah.
Crazy. What legitimate source did you see that? Oh, they're talking to
Okay.
each other. Diddy's family took the back door. No, they took the front door. We actually seen them. And everybody's saying no, Justin. Justin has dyed his hair blonde, like ice blonde, like platinum. That's what they call it. Justin has. I'm not Justin. Quincy. Everyone's saying Quincy wasn't there. Quincy dyed his hair platinum blonde. So he looks nice with it too, but it's a big difference to what he used to look like. Not only did the book say she was poisoned, but the medical examiner, Ed Winter, said she was poisoned. The thing about Cassie Tate leak is that it was 1 month after Diddy sold Diageo shares. This is true. Everybody's talking about the Diageo shares, and maybe we should do another video on it because we did ours way back. Cassie's lawsuit in November was after Diddy's lawsuit versus Diageo in May 23rd, not before. They're saying that Diageo is still working with the prosecutors. That's what they're saying. So they're also saying that everybody knew all about Diddy for years. More people went to those parties that you would never imagine. And that Diageo got the ball rolling because he was upset. They were upset that Diddy was suing them and called them racist. They were paying him $60 million a year just for Ciroc. And then they got mad because he wanted to be owner. They didn't want him to be owner. And then he opened up a competing brand, which is called De Leon. And that's what got the ball rolling. And I think two things could make sense at the same time. Yes, Diageo got the ball rolling and they're just mad and they want to end his career. But if he didn't have evidence, if he wasn't living this kind of life, they wouldn't have anything to tell the audience and go to court and all that stuff. He does have a right to a speedy trial. These hearings scare me because I would hate for the system to go off the rails based on the emotional response of the public. Yeah, that's a high possibility. Diddy may or may not be guilty. I mean, they're asking for the speedy trial. Diddy wants the speedy trial. A lot can go wrong with a speedy trial, but I don't. That's their defense. They asked for it. They picked the date, May 5th. That's crazy. I don't know why he's doing that. And then crazier than that is they're saying that Diddy wants to take the stand. No, no, you do not want to take the stand. I mean, why would he take this stand? That's pure arrogance, thinking he can convince a jury. You do not take the
That's what
stand,
people always say.
especially with
That's the
all these.
worst thing you can do.
This is the worst thing you can do. Diddy wants to be a partner with a 1,200 investment. He is nothing but a scam artist. Press conference. Okay.
I hope it is. Yeah.
All right,
No.
welcome back to Law and Crime, everybody. Our special coverage of the Sean Diddy Combs status hearing that happened today outside of or inside of New York Federal Court. I'm Jesse Weber, and right now we're going to go live to outside of that federal courthouse because our very own Elizabeth Milner is there. She was inside the courtroom for all the action today. Elizabeth, good to see you. So what were the main takeaways? What happened inside that courtroom? And if you can give us a little flavor of what did you observe from the man himself, Sean Combs?
Yeah, Jesse, it was pretty interesting because I think, we have seen many photos, videos of Sean Combs, aka Diddy, through the Associated Press, through Instagram. And so to see him kind of in person after being in jail for 3 weeks now was pretty interesting, to say the least. And I say that by being that you would expect him to feel a little defeated, a little gaunt, anything like that. But it wasn't that case. He appeared confident. He stood tall. But most importantly and most notably, when he walked inside the courtroom, the first thing that he looked at was his family. As soon as he saw his family, he just lit up. Another thing to note too is he wasn't shackled, but he was wearing a khaki prison-like jumpsuit when he appeared inside court, and his family appeared on their end very just happy to see him. Now, I will say, when I was inside the courtroom, I was a little bit towards the back's right side of the gallery. And so for seeing Sean Combs, I had to look through a few heads and stuff like that. But again, he appeared just kind of confident walking inside that courtroom, and might have just been the look that his family was there. So let me kind of paint a picture for you as well too. His mother arrived a little bit before 1 p.m. Eastern time today. And then whenever his children actually came into the courtroom or the courthouse actually kind of got silent. It was pretty interesting to see that as well too. So as far as who was sitting by who, you had Janice Combs, who sat by Justin. Then it was followed by Chance, the twins, Jesse and Delilah, Quincy, and then Christian Combs, aka King. And so again, once they all saw their father, they all smiled at him, waved at him. And even when we were all leaving the courthouse today, Diddy just blew kisses at his mother and his family members. They didn't say much of anything. I wasn't outside when they had first entered the courthouse, so I'm not sure if they said anything to the press. Previously, they had been very quiet whenever they had entered the courtroom. So I assume it'll be kind of like that as well, too. But it was interesting as well that a lot of the arguments kind of based around the data that was recovered and seized from the homes. So while a lot of us were kind of expecting there to be arguments about the bail or the bond, that really didn't happen. And the judge ordered that the defendant, Sean Combs, stay inside the MDNC, which we know the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. And so as far as what we know now is that we know May 5th is going to be the date, tentatively, that the trial does begin. So we have a lot of stuff that we're expecting to see, but kind of going back to a little bit of the evidence there. Now, I'm looking through this notebook right here, mainly because we're not allowed to have electronic equipment when we're inside that courtroom. So all of this was handwritten notes. So just kind of going over just some of the things that were happening inside that courtroom, I'm sure you have already talked about it there, as far as just all the data that prosecutors and now have in connection to the case. So 96 electronic devices were seized across 3 different locations. That included Diddy's Miami home, his LA mansion, as well as all the devices that were seized whenever he went to the airport. Because as we all remember, when the search warrants were happened, he was actually boarding a flight with his twin daughters, including, and I believe Chance was there as well too, his 18-year-old daughter now, when they were the search warrants were happening and Diddy was caught up at the airport. They did seize different devices that time as well too. And so the data mainly still has to be extracted. Now the government was kind of talking about just some of the devices are a little bit older, so the government in turn is kind of catching up to the technology there. But they say at the airport they seized 9 different devices. 7 of those have been extracted so far. At Miami, 36 different devices were seized, 29 were extracted, and in LA, 51 devices were seized, 24 have been extracted, excuse me. They say the 8 terabytes of data, that information could come about in the next 2 weeks or so, and they're working on the production, another production of the subpoena returns. And so the defense pretty much didn't object to too much inside the courtroom today. Agnifilo also appeared kind of confident during his arguments. I know a lot of people were kind of expecting for the bail or bond argument to be happening, but that didn't happen. And it appeared that the defense kind of, I'm trying to find the right word here, but they were pretty much complying with all the prosecution's arguments and plan to kind of have everything all good and set to go by May. Now, by the time the end of the year is to happen, I forgot like one big turn right here. They did mention that a potential superseding indictment could come. Now, obviously that hasn't happened yet, but the investigation is still ongoing. And so, we don't know a lot of information as far as what that could look like, but it appears that we could expect more charges to come later on, potentially by the end of the year.
That is what we've been echoing a lot, that we wouldn't be surprised if there's a superseding indictment. And I don't know. I don't think that May date is going to stick if he's hit with additional charges. That's just my guess. Elizabeth Milner, thank you so much. Great reporting, and happy you got a chance to be in that courtroom and also lay out the scene for us as well. Really appreciate it. Thanks. Good seeing you.
Wow.
Yeah.
More charges.
All right, so now we're going to break it down.
All right, you guys. So there you go. Wow.
It could possibly be big charges. I don't think nobody else going to come out and speak. So, like, if it's true, Keefe D, they keep pushing his stuff back a little bit, right? It could be a lot of things that we ain't expecting to be coming his way. And people demanding Kim Porter case be reopened. It could be other things. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'm speculating, but just saying after following this stuff, some major things could be coming. We don't know.
This is a lot. So no bail today. It's going to a higher court. What is it called? The 5th district, something.
The Second Circuit of Appeals.
Second Circuit of Appeals. So no bail. They didn't even discuss bail today. May 5th, the trial. The trial is supposed to last just 3 weeks. Tons of evidence gathered. And that more charges should be coming his way. Wow.
Yeah.
A lot. All right, you guys. Perry, did you want to say anything? This is
Well, I'll just say this, this thing gonna keep going. And when they come, we'll try to share them. But before we get out of here, on your way out, I want to thank everybody for coming and joining us. Once again, prayers out to people in Florida, people who was affected by Hurricane Milton, and praying for their recovery. But
all right,
on your way out, can you guys please give the video a like?
Please give the video a like. We were supposed to say that in the beginning. If anything good comes out, we're on it. So we'll see you guys later. I don't know if it's gonna be later today or not. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you tomorrow. Bye.